Welcome everyone to the FATED ARPG Podcast, episode number 125. This is our first episode after the first episode of the new year, which was dedicated to the Badger Private League. So we're back to business as usual today, and we got some exciting guests, and I can't wait to get them on. But first, here we got our co-host, BalorMage. How are you doing?
Well, hello. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Yeah,
that's good.
We spoiler already gave up on the build we were working on last time. We've moved on. New build again.
I can't wait to hear about it. But let's first get our guests on. We got exciting people here today. We got... Okay, hear myself twice. Got it fixed. We got the man who made the PoE Christmas song that we played for the intro. The man who crafts a lot of things and makes videos about it and teaches people about the game and is a general fun person in the community. Lolcohol, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good. I can't complain.
Good.
And we got a man who invested several mirrors into his MF tornado shot, I believe, and has jumped through many hoops to make the appearance today possible. And I'm very happy to welcome Travic. How are you doing?
Good morning. Hell of an intro. Hello.
They're going multiple mirrors.
Oh, no, please. I'm borrowing gear. Don't do this to me.
Yeah, no. I think I'm just impressed with the level of investment and the level of dedication that you present. Can I just show you amulet that you showed in the Discord?
Yeah, go ahead. Absolutely.
Yeah, this is what you shared with us beforehand.
Yeah,
pretty neat.
A guy
craft.
quit the league and gave me 5 mirrors worth of gear and told me to give it back to him in standard, and then said, actually, I want to play. The league is too fun. Loot is great. Give me my stuff back. And I was just like, how long do you want? When do you want it back? And he was like, how fast can you farm up 5 mirrors? And I was like, 5 days. And he was like, no shot. And we're on like day 6, and I'm like 250 div short. So
Oh, wow.
we're pretty good.
That's impressive, dude. That's impressive.
Yeah, you just play the game, right? You just like sit down and like kill essences. It's okay.
I had a very similar thing, although on a much smaller scale. Like, I got around Christmas, one of my guildmates bought a headhunter and then directly re-rolled in a minion build and was like, yeah, I don't really need the headhunter right now. You can use it for a while. And then just a couple days ago, he all of a sudden he wanted it back. And I was like, 70 divines. Luckily, headhunters had gone down from like 150 to about 109. So it was very affordable in the end. But dude, 5 mirrors? I don't even know how I would feel in this situation having to farm that up.
It's not bad. It's more like if you have a goal in mind and you just like know what your target is, and then you just come up with like a suitable plan, and then you don't deviate. Like the problem is like players will not be able to hit currency goals because like they just get distracted, or they're unfocused, or they re-roll, or they see something shiny and new. And if you just have a goal and have a set of how you're gonna get there, you just keep doing things.
Yeah, especially if the strategy you're doing is working. Like, don't get distracted by, I could get a slightly better helmet with like a little bit more chaos res, and then you spend 20 divines.
Yep. Or you just you just find something that works, and then you just keep doing that until you're good at it, and then you refine it to be better at it. And it's like the whole like, you know, people know me because I like did the blight thing, and they always say like, how do you make money doing it? I was just like, I've been doing it for years.
Mm-hmm.
You just do the same thing over and over and over.
That's
it
me
out.
when I'm doing those timing strategies. I'll make 40 div, and then I'll be like, ooh, but if I spend this 40 div crafting this and this and this, I could have 18 more rarity.
Right.
Like,
Yeah. No, see, I don't do any of that. Like I just, number go up, right? It's the whole point of farming.
Like those fractured helmets with the Janus fractured mod with 60.
I'm the one to make those.
It's like, dude, it costs you 500 divines and you get 15 MF out of it. Like, is it worth it? It's never going to pay for itself. I'm not going to make one of those.
Number go up. What do you mean? Of course.
Yeah, all the time. It's great. Is it worth it? No, absolutely not. You definitely shouldn't. But I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just because you can.
Yeah. Is it worth it? No.
Wait until we tell him that we're locking 10 C items to make sure the fracture hits. Then he's really going to lose it.
Wait, what?
That you're using
need to
Hinakora's
explain
locks
that.
on. You use
On
Hinakora's
10
locks.
C items?
Yeah, because like you open an Alva's memory, right? Okay, so like there's a big thing right now, and a lot of people don't know this, so it's like kind of cool to bring it up. There's like the tornado shot players use the Alva gloves, right? With the crit the hits against shield enemies, right? Well, the memory is 10C, right? So you go farm this 10C memory to get Alva gloves because it dumps like hundreds of gloves out, or not hundreds, but it dumps an excessive number of gloves out. So you always have a base to hit, and the memory's 10C, right? So like now you want to fracture orb this thing, but the fracture orbs are 30 divs and the Hinakora's locks are 20. So you have a 10C item that you got from a memory because the memory just poops all these currency or these items out. So you lock the gloves because you find the good base, and then you just keep, it's cheaper to lock than it is to fracture orb.
Yep.
I haven't thought about it like that. That makes sense. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, what have you been up to, Lolcohol? It's a long time we have seen you on here. You became an MF enjoyer, I see.
A lot of people. Yeah, a lot of people on my stream were like, "Oh, you're MFing. It's so weird." And I feel like I've done a lot of MF in the past, but the last time I really did it was in Scourge League. So I guess it has been like 2 years or so since I've done proper MF, and I've been itching to do it for the last 3 or so leagues. I've just been like, I want to MF again because it's so fun. And this league hit, and I was just like, perfect. And I have been MFing my brains out. I love it. It's super fun. I mean, we can get more into the actual league and what this is doing to our brains. But for now, I'm having a good time. But I'm quite sure it's doing some form of permanent damage. Just to like my dopamine receptors, they're fucked. I'm sorry. Just give it 15 minutes. I couldn't
do it. Couldn't do it.
They're shot. Okay.
It's all good.
I thought Travic would be the one who slipped up. Damn it.
I'm still very, very excited over one divine that falls. Like I lose it, man.
Oh no, I'm slowly losing.
Nope.
I mean,
one divine. We are screaming for the moons, man. We are happy as all heck.
I had 2 +1 curse amulets and 90 amulet corrupts yesterday. That was dopamine. That's the real shit. But then again, I haven't done MF. I don't want to
see. Like right now, I just got a doctor while hanging out with you guys. So you guys are really lucky. Like it's just the sheer excitement of dopamine.
Yeah, but the thing is that it's being like my threshold has been adjusted. Where now, when a doctor drops, I get the same feeling that I would have got if just a normal divine dropped. So when a normal divine drops, I'm like, oh cool. It's like an orb of annulment level of excitement. So hopefully,
this is what has been happening to me the last few leagues. That's why I'm in a private league this time, where money doesn't matter, to just get away from it.
Yeah.
Like now we drop a divine orb or even a pile of divine orbs, and my first thought is, "Yo, my crafter's gonna love that. More reforges, right?
Nice.
Like that's
maybe I got to do that.
That's the thing."
There's a slight sidetrack. Is any one of you playing BPL, the Badger privately?
No.
I don't have time. It's way too intense.
I really want to, but I don't think
D3 is calling.
Yeah,
D3?
D3 is great for like 3 days.
Oh yeah. Okay, Diablo 3 is there a new season?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I play it on my Switch sometimes, and it is really fun for about 3 days.
Yeah, it lasts 3 days, but it's a very fun 3 days. And also, the thing about Diablo is you never know when it's over. You'll never know when it's going to be over. You'll be playing, and you'll be having a great time.
Yeah.
And a switch will flick, and you'll be like, I'm done.
Yep.
And for me, it's about 3 days in, sometimes 2, but usually about 3. And it'll just a switch will flip, and you'll be like, I'm done. Back to PoE, bye.
Back to a real game.
Okay. That's fine. Like I've already owned the game. It doesn't cost me anything to play the new season. I play it until I get bored, and then it'll sometimes be halfway through a stream, and I'll just be like, oh, I actually don't feel like making another upgrade. This is done. Bye.
Mm-hmm. What is the theme? What is the theme?
I have no idea.
Oh.
No idea at all.
Nice. Yeah. I one of these days I'm gonna play a D3 league. I think just to jump in and to just as a person who has never played a single minute of Diablo 3, just to give my unbiased opinion on it. That I think would be cool and interesting.
You should play
I can't see
Diablo
myself.
2 Project Diablo.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Diablo experience for anybody who wants to anybody who plays PoE should just play Project Diablo 2 and not bother with any other one. It's the best mod and variant of Diablo with the best Path of Exile feel to it. Seriously.
Yeah. But the problem is that that's only on base D2, not D2R, right?
Yeah, but
So-
I mean, base D2 just looks infinitely better anyways than D2R. I'm serious.
You
Like if I play
don't know.
I play D2R, I put in old graphics.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, it's got it's got high-end crafting, it's got mapping, it's got Ubers, it's got corrupting your items. Like it has everything that base Path of Exile has, and it's just on a Diablo client. It's free.
It's free.
Good.
It's free.
No,
I mean, well,
if
you have to
you
own,
have
you
to
have
own
to own
Diablo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's pay
I
like
did.
10
I did
bucks.
have a Diablo 2 key ages ago. Actually, I had two, but I don't know where they are, and I don't know them anymore. And right now, I'm just way too hesitant to give Blizzard my money. But then I know I could just buy a key online somewhere,
Yeah.
secondhand kind of.
Have you played
Wouldn't
it?
get anything. Have I played D2?
Yeah.
Yeah, and when my childhood, yeah.
Oh,
But,
okay,
always
alright.
offline and on a very, very low level, right? Because
Yeah.
back then the internet didn't exist for me the way it does today, right? I didn't have access, and I was just a casual kid at home with a hex editor, cheating himself some set items and trying to make a good build, and spectacularly failing at it because I had no idea how any of the mechanics worked, right?
Yeah. Man, I used to play that with 800 ping back in the day, and I would play hardcore online 800 ping. I managed to get all the way up to level 70 once playing online, but I don't know how the hell I did it. Then our internet got upgraded and it went down to 400. It was amazing. So many good memories.
That's so bad, though.
Yeah, but we don't have local servers, man, for anything except PoE and CS. But yeah, I did it.
Right. Were you a hardcore D2 gamer? I mean, not hardcore as in the game word hardcore, but do you play a lot of D2 back in the day, Travic?
I still play.
You still play.
Yeah.
I also still play.
Every I just don't stream it because I'm newer to the ARPG streaming world, so I just play it off stream, but I play it all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All the time?
Like all the time.
Multiple times per week?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay, wow. Sick.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's my off-stream relaxing thing. So when I'm not farming up X amount of whatever I'm farming in PoE or paying off some crazy build. Yeah, I'm just playing D2.
Super good. Have you got do you have a Switch?
Sometimes I play mostly PDR or PD2.
Okay. Oh, right, yeah. I play it a lot on my Switch. Normally, toward the tail end of a PoE league, I've just got my little SSF offline characters that I'm slowly building up. I got a offline Grief. I'm waiting for a Burr rune to drop. I've been trying for a year to get one. Can't get one. We're way off topic now. We're talking about D2 now. But
It's great.
actually, I mean, this league, I was thinking about it and thinking about the good old days of D2. Did you ever use a drop mod? They were these hacks that, well, it wasn't a hack, but it was a mod you would download. And what it would do is everything you killed would just drop 10 unique items or a whole lot of set items. And I was playing PoE, this league, and I realized at one point that this league is more overtuned than a jokey D2 drop mod. That's how it feels when I'm playing this league. It's just everything is dropping thousands of unique items. I've my loot filter at this point, I've hidden chaos orbs, I've hidden potentially good uniques. It's just
Fantastic.
crazy. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I actually want to do one map without a loot filter.
No, you
See how
don't.
long it takes. just one to see how long it takes.
It'll crash.
You
It'll
can't make
crash.
it.
Yeah, you'll crash.
Yeah.
Have you
Or at
guys all
least
seen
yeah.
the DS Lily rip?
No,
No.
what happened? Did
No,
push
like
Alt?
she
Oh, yeah,
actually
she
went
pressed
back
Alt,
into
yeah.
her cleared map with an item filter that showed all unique items. and then she died to Burning Ground because the client crashed when she pressed Alt.
Oh no!
Wait here, I got it loaded here. 200 divine build or so in hardcore.
Oh my! This is like 10 times worse than the drop mod.
It's good though.
Oh shit, Lily, no.
yeah, pretty
Sorry,
hilarious.
shiz. Oh, I can't believe I'm the one swearing. What's going
But
on?
yeah, big props though. Big props to the people who are holding down the hardcore in these difficult times. Where I mean, I'm known on my stream for repeatedly saying in the last month or so, using the Disney Star Wars meme of that Bale and Skull character saying, "I miss the idea of it, but not the truth, the weakness." And that's exactly, in a nutshell, like, I like the idea of playing hardcore. I don't like the reality of it in PoE anymore. Like, I want to go back to hardcore, maybe with PoE 2, maybe with some changes in PoE 1 as well. But just a lot of my devs just feel extremely unsatisfying as hardcore devs. Where do you guys stand on the whole hardcore versus softcore debate? Like, learning to know you a little bit more as a gamer, and I kind of want to know more about Travic, obviously, because we haven't had the chance to talk to you yet. How did you get into PoE? Let's start with that. When?
I've been playing PoE since it's released. I just haven't gotten good at it. I didn't get good at it or really learn about it until Calandra League. And I was streaming horror. Okay, so I started streaming horror games. And I got really bored of playing Dead by Daylight because there's only after 5 years of like running in a circle, there's only so many times I could stick my hand in a generator and like feel good about myself. So I quit that. I went to playing Lost Ark because I was really addicted to Lost Ark. And Lost Ark was super fun, but nobody would watch it. Like literally nobody. So I was going to quit streaming and just quit everything and, go be a Chad and get a job. And I was talking to Lolcohol and Guitaraholic during Calandra League. And I liked Calandra League a lot. I love loot goblins. I love loot explosions. I love everything that it brings. I think it's the most fantastic thing. Like it's great on infinite levels.
Mm-hmm.
So I was playing Calandra League and streaming to like 10 people. And one of the viewers was just like, "Hey man, like, I got a strat. It'll like kick up your dopamine receptors through the roof. Like, do this thing. It's awesome." So I started doing this thing and I messaged Lolcohol and Guitaraholic and I'm like, I fixed Calandra League. I figured out loot with my community. This is great. Like, we should try it. And he was like, "You're an idiot. No, Calandra League's bad. The whole game sucks. Just quit."
No, it wasn't that bad. Come on.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So he goes,
I did call you. I called you out of touch. Okay.
Yeah. He goes, "Loot's bad." And I was like, "You're wrong." And, two friends are having the "you're an asshole" argument, right? And I'm like, no, loot is fine. And he goes, "Prove it." So Guitarholic's like, "Yeah, make a spreadsheet," because obviously video games are only fun with Excel. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I make an Excel sheet and I have these numbers and divines per hour. And I'm like mathematical equations and we're best friends in math. And he's like, "Cool. Now prove it to the internet." That's great. So he goes, I said, "What does that mean?" He goes, "Make a YouTube video. If people will watch it and it works, maybe I'll believe it." And I was just like,
prove it to the internet.
Prove it to the internet. So I made a video. It's the first time I ever made I've made YouTube videos before. They never worked. So I was just like, I'm going back to work. There's nothing to lose. So I make a YouTube video on Calandra League and how to like farm like strong boxes. Like everybody knows the strong box thing now. You do 600 in rage or 500 in rage. You throw some scarabs, the whole 9 yards. So I did a video on Calandra League and I posted because a friend of mine was like, "You post the video 30 minutes before you go live. People go watch the video and then they come to your live stream and like, all the YouTube SEO stuff." So I post the video and I'm live streaming. And the next thing I know, I've got like 150 people watching. I was like, "What the hell's going on?" And people were like, "Dude, you're the guy with the video. Like, thank you for saving my league. I tried your strategy." I'm like, "It's been 45 minutes. What do you mean you've tried it? Like, I just put this video out." And the video got like 80,000 or 70,000 views in like a month. And I went from like 3 viewers to like 100 consistently. So I was just like, I guess I'm a PoE streamer now. And I went from having to quit full-time streaming because I've been full-time streaming at this point for like 6 years or 5 years or 7 years or whatever it was, to like being able to sustain living doing Path of Exile. So I've just been like, you know, a PoE guy.
Oh, nice. So me being a butthole
Yeah.
saved your career.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a weird way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good takeaway from the entire story.
Yeah, we Calandra had many ups and downs for us, but we're back together. We're friends again. Right?
This is that confusing look, like we were never like. I'm looking this way specifically because I want my camera angle to look at you to realize that you're the idiot here, because I never. I
know. It's just memes, but I'm glad. Yeah, I was really happy because you asked me for some advice and stuff, like how I actually made you a few thumbnails at the start.
Yeah,
and we did like a Discord call where I made a thumbnail and showed you how to do it, and you went and just like ran with it, which is so good, because a lot of people will ask you tips on YouTube stuff, and you'll tell them, and they never do it. But you were like, all right, cool.
No, I tell people all the time, this man saved my career, like single-handedly. And like now, like I have like a guy that I work with on the YouTube stuff. Like I'll like feed him like my videos and stuff, and he'll like watch them and call me an idiot, redo stuff, or redo my like help me redo the thumbnails and stuff. But like, yeah, no, I wouldn't. I tell people all the time, like I wouldn't be where I am without your help, like 100%.
I'm very happy to hear that. I'm glad. We need more people like you in the community. Really, just like someone having fun, having a good time, playing the game for the right reasons. Well, not the right reasons, but for the sake of just like enjoying the game.
To play a video game?
Yeah. Instead of like this competitive stuff that a lot of people seem to feel when they're playing.
Well, so it's really funny, and I don't mean to deviate, right? But like, you know, the whole PoE community is always about like Excel sheets and documents. And I'm not saying anybody ever does this, but like, have you ever like looked at an Excel sheet and then like opened an Excel sheet and then changed a number on it? Ever?
Yeah, I do. I love spreadsheets.
Yeah. Well, I tell people all the time, how often do you think Jim Bob Joe over here is like making a real spreadsheet and then not changing a number and then telling you to do like Jim Bob C's strategy? You know, like just play the game to play the game. Money will come. So,
yeah. I think that's a really important thing to keep in mind, is like you can completely rationalize the fun or min-max the fun out of the game.
Yeah, a lot of people do it.
Sorry. Yeah, FOMO and all that. No, go for it. Yeah. I was like,
no,
kind of.
Okay, all right. I guess it's especially related to this league, the whole MF thing, which has been contentious for a lot of people, but it's that thing of like rationalizing the fun out of the game, because there's this thing in the back of people's heads where they say, I could be MFing, like I could be doing this, I should be doing this to maximize the profits I'm making. And by the way, there are many ways to make a lot more currency than MF, but it's what everyone's seeing. It's what everyone's seeing. Like you turn on MP stream, or people like make Twitter posts where they get 70 divines or whatever, and that's what everyone's thinking. Like, I want to get that, and if I'm not doing that, I'm not putting myself in the position to get that.
Well, content creators aren't in a position. I can't speak for you guys, right? But I can only speak for things that I've seen. Content creators are not in a position to do anything else. Like, we have to magic find, right? If this is like your full-time, like I said, I can't speak for you guys, but the amount of backlash that I've seen other streamers, including myself, get for doing other things that aren't burial chambers, or like,
really?
Because people want to see magic find. They want to see the fulcrum. They want to see you in burial chambers. They want to see divines. They want to see pops. Like I was doing bosses yesterday, and the only reason people were sticking around is because they were like, "You're making it fun." But like, people don't want to see bossing. They don't want to see other stuff. They just want to see how to maximize magic find right now because it's the hot topic.
I think people are sick of consuming magic find content and would rather see other shit.
I think it really depends on what demographic we're talking about, but I think at this point the magic find content is pretty saturated, and I think there's plenty of people, like Balor says, that are tired of it and are looking to greener pastures and for stuff that like engages them on a different intellectual level.
If I merge back to trade, I'm gonna do like if we end up merging back the trade from this private league, instead of merging in all my currency and character, I'm just gonna do like a whole 0 to hero thing, except with no magic find, and just be like, boom, here's a character fresh, here's a daily update. I didn't touch quantity, I didn't touch rarity, I didn't do nothing. Here's a headhunter in a few days, here's a mage blood a few days after that.
Yeah.
Here's different strategies to make a ton of money, like that sort of stuff with no quant at all on my character, nothing, none of that stuff.
Yeah. But then you're going to run to the people who are like, but you're a full-time streamer and you can play 16 hours a day and I can't because I have 9 children and it's not fair. Which
I just told them to cry more. That's fine.
Okay. I need to get more based.
It's crazy because it's the best league to do anything ever.
Yeah, it is.
Literally ever. You can open up tier 1 glacier maps and kill on a white map 3 essences that you corrupt every single one of them because it doesn't even matter, and do that for an hour and get like 20 divs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not even like exaggerating. You can just like open and close tier 1 glacier maps every 30 to 45 seconds, kill 3 mobs or 6 mobs if they double, and make 20 divs an hour because loathings are like 8 to a divine in trade.
Yeah. But I think the thing people are missing with that is the swing, the dopamine hit.
Right. I agree with you. And that's where the FOMO blind side of it comes in, because I can be hearing and feeling that, but it's still just as good. Then
Don't
again,
you get a good dopamine hit from like a big trade? Like,
I get excited over multiple chaos dropping. I get excited over everything. Maybe that's right. Maybe I'm the weirdo, right?
I think you are a bit, but it's good.
It's a little weird.
I want some of that.
I mean,
think
it's a little weird, but don't change it. It's great.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
it's fucking weird. You're definitely the weirdo, but like stick with it. That's great. That's actually fantastic.
yeah. Like I was like,
Lend me some of the weird, actually.
like it's fun. So like I get to do my maps. I still have chaos, like single chaos orb, single val orbs. Like I'm using my buddy Reality's filter, right? And it's like it hides most stuff, but like I see like Sedemas and gold worms drop and like random stuff. I'm corrupting everything in the middle of my map. My maps are taking 15 minutes. Like I'm like freaking out over every cool corrupt. Like, just playing the game to play the game. But I'm like, I went into debt 5 mirrors and I've put back 4 and change already, because like you're just playing the game and having fun. You're not worrying about what you're doing, and you're just like, you're cruising, man. Like during the middle of this podcast, how long are we live? Like, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Like
28.
I'm up 30 divines, just sitting here talking to you guys, like casually killing monsters, like keeping my hands occupied playing the game, right? It's just playing the game just brings money, and it's just cool and it's exciting, and like,
I like it.
I'm the weirdo.
It's infectious. You're making me want to play now, which is great. That's the streamer's job, right? Like get people excited for the drops.
Yeah. That's also like, that's probably one of the factors that I enjoy most about PoE content in general, is this contagious enthusiasm about the game that some people manage to have. And what did I want to say? I've identified like 3 key factors here to why the situation feels so good right now. And you're going to tell me whether I'm wrong or right. But like, first of all, like all the MFing is creating huge divine inflation, or in general currency inflation, which normally wouldn't be a good thing. But with the hyper focus on MF for many people, there is this oversupply of stuff that you get from regular mapping, but like all the specialized content that no one is doing because they're favoring MF over it. Everything is kind of worthwhile. So, and then the third factor is, I said that before the stream, I think the economy is just especially healthy right now, because normally a league starts dropping off after the first 2 weeks, but this league started 2 weeks before the holidays. So right as the first league drop-off happened, we had that huge influx of holiday players, right? Like people who couldn't play before the holidays happened, and that kind of balanced things out to the point where we're like, well, almost an entire month in, and it just feels really good and really rewarding no matter what you do right now. I feel like if I'm delving, I'm making money. If I'd be heisting, I'd be making money. Like anything has like so much potential. And then there's one question I had, because we had this topic yesterday on stream where we discussed the whole economic situation, and someone in chat told me, and that stuck with me, and I'm still like, is he right, maybe? But they said, yeah, it's still good if you do other things but MF, but ultimately, if you don't MF, you're going to be left behind in the economy if you're not doing that. Because, yeah, you'll benefit from the MFers being around by making big sales, but ultimately won't make as much. Is that something you think is true? I don't think so. Because
I think I might have had the same guy in chat yesterday.
I mean, to what extent? I think you could make as much. I mean, profit crafting, MF is a joke compared to profit crafting. I've written off profit crafting because it's so profitable that it makes all other content in the game just like pointless. Like, why would I run a map? Even now, I made like 2 mirrors a few leagues ago in a day, just like sitting in my hideout for a couple of hours, just doing a bit of crafting, then like do something else, sell in the background. Like, MF is not the most profitable thing in the world to do.
Yeah, sitting in your hideout is.
Yeah.
That will always be true, but I never do it because it's boring as shit.
Yes. Play the game.
I'm bored of crafting too.
You can
That's
like
what I want to do.
you can open and close syndicate missions to find Janus Helms on ES or evasion bases and sell them to players at 30 divines. You can open and close the Alva memories that I was talking about at the beginning of the podcast and just get the temple mod on a pair of gloves and then re-roll whatever temple mod to cold and then sell the gloves for 20 divines. Right? Like, you don't have to magic find, but there's the whole it's FOMO. It's all it is, right? It's like the swings and the FOMO. But like, you can go farm Blight and get 3.5 divs of tainted oil. Like, they have never, it's like 2 golds for 3 divs or 3 divs for 2 gold. It's like it's mind-blowing. I made 700 divines on stream the other day, killing Searing Exarch. I had 2 Forbidden Flames and Fleshes drop, and like, yeah, of course it's RNG, right? But the red side Forbidden Flames and Fleshes, some of them are 300-400 divines each. And they sell, they don't just linger. They like sell immediately.
Yeah. That's the thing, is like, people are so rich this league that now seeing a 400 div price tag is not what it used to be.
No, to us.
Yeah. Okay, let me say, not to everyone, but there are a lot more people than usual who are richer than they've ever been.
Yes.
And they can see that double corrupted chest with the perfect mods, and it's 200 divines, and they don't have to like hesitate and negotiate. They can just be like, I'll farm that back up in a few hours or in a day or two. So you can list things for that much. Yeah.
So I don't want to cut it. I don't want to like try to like hog airtime, but like, I, as a newer content creator and a newer person to Path of Exile, don't have that weird stigmatism of divines per hour. I tried it when I first started streaming it. I couldn't do it. I hated it. I play the game for fun. I make money by doing what I find fun. But I think from being in that mindset and being newer to the streaming side of it or the game side of it, that seeing so many people be focused on divines per hour, I think a lot of us as content creators, when we embedded that thought process into the community so many years ago and led them through that for so many years, that if you're not divine per hour, if you're not Excel sheeting, if you're not making the most of what you're doing, you're just losing. So I think like, it's hard for people to see the mentality of like, I could be making 16 and 15's bad. I can be making 17, but 15's bad. So like, if we showcase the people, and I like Balor was saying, like, even if you do like the 0 to here, like last league, I think it was Steel Mage did Sanctum for 24 hours or something like that, and he made like 200 divs or some like absurd number, and people still were like, it's his skill level. And I was like, it doesn't matter, it's a skill level. The point of the matter is the ability to do it is there, and you're choosing to not take advantage of it. And it's just like a player thing. And this ties back to what you said, Lolcohol, about the YouTube thing. People are given the opportunity to have this information, and we do as content creators such a good job. Like, I know Balor does a really good job with his SRS stuff. I know Cat's bringing these podcasts to great people. Like, we're giving these people this information, and they're choosing to not run with it because so-and-so content creator at so-and-so point said, if I don't do 1,000 maps at this level of quantity at 62 versus 50 with my breakpoint per hour at a 30-second margin, my brain explodes. Or people get upset because like, you could tell them to go run tier 1 white maps or tier 1 beasts or tier 1 this, and they say, but it's not 16. Or like Garotha did the tier 7 farming strategy, which is one of the best things anybody can be doing at any break point or price point. And people are like, but it's not tier 16. There's no puzzle boxes. just play the game. Just kill a mob. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
So, something I've never done is actually track my profit per hour.
Right.
Despite being like a degenerate Magic Find player every league, almost, right? Like I'm in like disgusting quant gear almost every league. Doing
what's there to track if
MF
the number goes
strategies.
up?
And then people are like, "How much do you make per hour?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Yeah,
like,
the number went up.
And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't track that either."
Yeah,
I just buy all of the juice until I run out of money.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I run all of the juice that I bought, and then I look at the pile of money I have, and it's 3 times as big as what I spent, and that makes me happy. And I go again.
Yes.
I never look at what I made per hour ever.
I get people, oh, that's a 2 divine map you just opened. I'm like, is it? And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know. They're like, did you just pay 8 divines for a sex? I'm like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Who cares?
Sometimes I'll do a strategy for 2 days, and then I'll sell all the juice I made, and I'll look at my pile, and I'm like, oh, that div file's smaller than before. Change strategies.
Yeah.
They're like, how much did you lose? And I'm like, I don't know, but it didn't gain, so on we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Thing, please.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think while we're still on this divine per hour topic, I think it's nice to pivot to a discussion that Lolcohol did stir up on Twitter the other day. You posted a suggestion, or more like a question: how would people like it if quantity was a stat that you could roll on some rare items again? Because as a consequence, potentially making MF builds could be more interesting because you have more choices in the different gear slots than the well-known uniques that we're all familiar with.
There's a huge downside to that.
Go for it.
The best version of every single build has to use a suffix or prefix wherever it goes on every gear slot that's available.
Yeah,
and
would it just become mandatory?
On every single thing. On every single build forever. If it doesn't have that quant roll on that piece of gear, doesn't matter how good it is, trash gear. Bye.
Yeah, it's kind of like suppression. Well, it would be worse than suppression, right?
Yeah, much worse.
Because you need it on everything. I just asked that question because I was curious what people thought about it, because the gearing is extremely boring. I do like crafting still. I do enjoy it. I just don't like profit crafting much. But it's like I'm playing a build with 8 unique items and 1 rare item, and it's like, I want to be making stuff and like incrementally upgrading my build, but there's nothing to do. So that's why I wonder if bringing back quant would be good. But it's interesting how passionate people are about getting MF out of the game entirely. That's the thing that I find
in general about MF.
Happen.
Like, it's such a like a topic that splits the community, because some people are so like infatuated or with the idea that MF is like an essential part of ARPG gaming that they couldn't see it go, and other people are like, this needs to go, right? There's like a complete opposite opinion spectrum.
Core to the entire genre. Like, it doesn't. It has been since the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's been. It's core to the entire genre. You can't.
Yeah, I love MF because I mean I played Diablo 2 for 23 years or whatever, but I think the problem in PoE right now is that previously there was a trade-off. When you went MF, you actually lost power, so that you might have struggled.
Power in other games too.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I'm saying what the problem is. Well, the problem is now is that you can be at max power doing the hardest content in the game and still have max quant.
That's not even remotely true, though.
No, that's
Wait. Well, okay, you could get more quant, but you can get a crap load of quant on a practically immortal Fulcrum build that just kills everything.
Yeah. You can get enough power to do the quant thing.
Yeah.
And have all the quant gear. Yes. But the same power as not wearing quant gear? That's unhinged. Like,
yeah, but I mean,
no, but like you're exceeding the same threshold of minimum power that you need to have to do the hardest content.
It's not, because like, what are you doing? You're opening a map, you're killing a white. You can only kill a white mob, and if a white mob doesn't die, you have to pray to Val Breach. And if you don't pray to Val Breach, the rare doesn't die. And if the rare does die and doesn't explode, you sit there with your thumb where the sun don't shine.
And so what you've done to solve that is built the entire strategy around making sure that there is enough white mobs around for you to do that. So you've had to design a strategy and stick to it and stick to a play pattern that revolves around the weakness of that character, which is an incredibly weak character by most standards.
I agree.
Can never kill a map boss.
I agree with all of this. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate, okay?
I don't think it's a bad point, but like even like the tornado shot builds, right? Like, yeah, you can like you can shoot everything. Like I'm wearing like we obviously know, like I'm wearing like I'm so bougie, right? Like I swap my headhunter for my mage blood to loot.
Oh.
Right? And like I just spent, for example, 200 divines to make an amulet for quant, and that amulet only gives me quant when I could just put Omni on and stats and be infinitely stronger.
You go from doing the 4 to 8 mil that you've got now.
Yeah, exactly.
To doing 500 million instead.
The problem is there's a break point. Yeah, the problem is this is a break point of only once you get to the point where you one shot everything, who cares what else you do?
Yeah,
that's kind of the point, though, right? Yeah, like should it be that MF nerfs your character to the point that you realistically can only run tier 7 maps with Delhi and other stuff? Or should you be able to run these like Giga Juice tier 16s with 10,000 wisps and still have like 300 rarity and 70 quant?
So here's the problem. That thing you just described, that currently is the case for most people.
Yeah.
Most people that aren't us cannot take their magic find they're doing tier 7 ins.
Oh, right.
Into
Okay.
tier 16s. They can't do it. It would be too powerful. They would die. They would not be able to kill mobs. Most people are at that level. The only reason it seems that way to us is because we're all way too degenerate and way too experienced. And we've got way better gear than most other people. And the idea that we can put multiple mirrors or even a single mirror into one build is unfathomable to most people, right? Like that's way too much. And when we invest this much, yes, we should be able to do the hardest content in quant gear.
I mean, Fulcrum is like 60 divs, right?
No, but hold on, wait. To touch on him, think about what you just said, because I said the same thing. I made a video and I said the Fulcrum is a budget build at 60 divs, and that was the price point. And you were there when I recorded it.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people say, and he makes the best point, do you know how many people say, but it's 60 divs?
Yeah,
I never see that in a league. And I answered a comment today on YouTube that a guy said, I never see more than 5 divs in a league. And I cater my content to those players to teach the dads, because I'm a single father, right? And like I have my son full-time, not full-time, but like 50-50, like he's with me throughout the week, right? Like as a parent, I can't farm when my kid is at home, right? So like I can only farm when I work, which is PoE is my job. And if I don't know how to make currency, I can't make money. So when my kid goes to bed, I can't do a 3-div juice map. I have to like play for like a divine an hour, 2 divines an hour, open and close the map, have a good time. And there are players who do that all the time. They never have, like Valor said, the ability to be a degenerate. So like, yes, Fulcrum is a budget build, but when you look at a Fulcrum being 20 divs, Joe over here with 3 kids, a wife, a husband, a dog, can't even begin to play that. And the tornado shot gear that I'm using is 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 divines. That is unfathomable. You know how often I hear too, it's easy for you to make 100 div an hour because you're wearing tornado shot gear and you're wearing 5 mirrors worth of gear. And then I say, go play Fulcrum for 100 divs an hour. You know what it's like to get 17 divs to buy a Fulcrum, and then I gotta buy an armor and 6 link it, and you know how much tainted fusings are? And you're like, bro, what? Like, do you want help or do you want to cry? Like, make up your mind.
Yeah. I saw another content creator saying that it's like some people have is this word allowed? Incel mentality with PoE, where nothing is their fault. Everything is like external. There's nothing they can do to fix the situation they are in. It's always the game. It's always the content creator.
It's developers or the content creators or the top 1%.
They never do anything to try and change it. They just blame. I can't play enough. I don't have enough divines. This. You're more experienced. Like, what do you do at that point?
Here's my favorite part. I have something to do for that, but it only has a 50% success rate. people come around to my stream and then they're like, I can't do this thing. I'm broke. I have no money. And I'm like, how much money? And they're like, I have a total of 2 div and I've been playing the whole league. And I'll be like, okay, I will pull up your path of building right now, figure out what your character can farm, and set you on a strategy to make a ton more money than you've ever had. If you're willing to swallow the fact that it is you're the problem, but that's a good thing, because if you don't know what you're doing and that's why you're broke, I can teach you what to do right, and then you can go do it. 50% of people basically tell me to screw myself and then just leave. They don't even want you. They don't even want help. They just want to complain. The other 50% of people come back like a week later and they're like, yo, I've got 60 div. I've never had more than 5 div in a league before. This is great. I can upgrade my character. What's the next thing I can do? And then I send them into like a more juice, more scenarios.
Yep.
But half of people that you say that to just leave. They don't want help.
They want their lives to suck. Well, their PoE lives. It is concerning, because if you're, it's just like a personality thing, or are people maybe feeling upset in real life and then they externalize it or something? Because I don't really know how to engage with it. But I think what you've suggested is good. I try my best to help people as well, but there are certain people who are kind of just they want everything to suck, and I don't think you can try, but I don't know. It feels bad, man. Just want people to have a good time.
Like, I think on stream the other day, we had a brand new player like a week or two ago. And it was like their first character that they'd ever made. And I looked at the character and was like, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. We need to help this person. I spent about like an hour and a half teaching the dude what was important on the character, how to use the trade site, how to search for all his own things, how to spend his own money, how to upgrade his character. And I've been like checking in on him in Path of Building every few days. And just every few days he's a few levels higher and a little bit better gear. Last time I checked, he was like 93 now. And I was like, that's his first character ever. I'm like, that's pretty impressive. Like, he's moving along now. And it's just because if you're willing to get helped, then I'll give you a strategy. I'll give you a strategy, no problem. I'll give you all the information you need.
Yeah. It's just it's a bit more, it's harder to track. Like, if you think of a game like Counter-Strike, can you imagine someone saying, it's not fair that I can't get like these flick headshots like you do, and I don't get 30 kills in a map? Actually, people do that. but in PoE, it's a bit more nebulous. The layers and layers of knowledge and experience and putting things into practice, it's a bit harder to track, as opposed to saying, go do your aim training for 30 minutes every day for a week, and you're going to see an improvement. It's not as easy to track that.
But it's the easiest it's ever been to get into the game and play the game.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
I think your point is very valid of how you started it, right? It's just the me mentality is like holding people back, but I don't think it's people are to blame for the me mentality, because, like I said, from being an outside perspective, there were just so many people in the past who have conditioned the mindset of how to do it. And showing people that the game is the easiest it's ever been. So it's like, it's not just the fault of the people, but like, it's like everybody's collective fault. And if we like show people and teach people, and, you know, like the whole like job mentality of like, we never hire people who have a certain skill set because we can't break that skill set. We just have to like break the bad habits that we developed multiple years ago playing the game, because those standards don't hold true now.
How do you do that?
Play the game. You show
play
people.
The game?
You play the game and show people.
Okay. I like it. Yeah. I haven't done a div per hour strat video for ages. I don't like it.
It's not div per hour. It's like Balor said, right? Like, I played the game, I did this, my number went up.
And
did I
had
track
fun.
it? No.
Right.
But did I have fun?
Is not fun.
Yeah,
if the pile is smaller after a few days, then bad. And if the pile is bigger, then good.
But that's really hard. that's hard for a new player because they want to
It's not,
see
though.
that incremental progress. They want to
see
be
it
able
because
to.
they see it. It's still there.
They see it.
You're
Okay.
right. They want to see that. And I think partly because like we, and not like us, but like we trained them to see that. That's
Yeah.
why.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So
think
like a
there's also-
decade. Yeah.
No, go for
Go
it.
ahead.
Please finish your sentence. I didn't mean to
I
interrupt.
was just gonna say, people's brains have been tuned to a decade of div per hour strat videos.
Yes.
So yeah, we need to deprogram that. Okay. Go ahead, Catmaster.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that like the thing is also we are extremely like into the game and we have like in-depth knowledge and experience with it. So like even without tracking, I feel like Balor for you versus the infamous average player, you obviously have you're way more in tune with what currency you're making and what the different things that you're acquiring are worth.
Oh no, you have no idea how bad at that I am. Not only do I have, when I'm in trade, a crafter, I also have a trader. I usually don't even have my own currency in my own stash tab. And I assume that my trader takes the 30% that we agreed he would take for doing all of my trading. But I don't check. I have no idea. I just dump it all into a tab in the guild tab and he takes it out, sells it, and then gives me back whatever amount of money he deems worthy. I assume he's only taking the 30%. He could be taking 50. I wouldn't know. And then sometimes between my trader and my crafter, they'll just take my profit that would have come back to me. It'll just go from my trader to my crafter to craft something, and I wouldn't even see it come back. I have no idea how much money I make. I couldn't even guess.
Okay, fair enough. Like what I'm trying to say is like when you drop items, you have a general like a better idea of like how much they're worth than the average person who's just trying to get into things. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that I think the reason that people are so fixated on the div per hour kind of thing is because that's an easy metric to decide which farming strategy makes you more money, right? Because that way you can compare numerically, which is like completely objective, more or less, versus like you subjectively saying, okay, this pile went bigger and I think it feels good. But I think when you do that, that's still relatively precise versus the average player where it might be completely off if they try to base it on subjective perception.
Maybe. But I've said this a lot in stream. I don't know if I've ever seen it on this podcast, but I stand by this. The absolute most profitable thing anybody can do in this game is do the content that's fun. And there's a reason for that, a numerical reason for that. It's not just, oh, fun is worth more than money. It's if the thing you're doing is something you really enjoy, you'll do it faster, better, with more enthusiasm, and for longer. And almost everything is profitable. 3 hours of your game time where you spend half of it looking at the map or like watching a TV show on your second monitor that you get distracted by because you're not really enjoying the MF meta anyway. You just built MF because it was good. You end up with an hour and 20 minutes worth of game time in your 3-hour session. But if what you really like is crop rotation harvests and that engages your brain, when you have a 3-hour play session, you play for 3 hours and you do crop rotations for the whole 3 hours. Was it technically, by the numbers, 20% less money than doing MF would have been? Yes. Was it in practice 20% less money? No, you made nearly double because you were doing the thing that was fun. And so you kept doing the thing that was fun because it was fun to you. That's
Exactly.
There's no burnout, right? Like there's just no burn, and that's the thing. Like so many people do this 27 hours.
Unless what you really like is ultimatum. By the way, if what you really like is ultimatum, move on, find something else to like. It's fucking worthless.
No, it's
Or
not.
travel back in
Have
time
you
to when
seen-
Ultimatum was a league.
No,
It's
bro.
so bad,
No, it's not. It's not.
dude.
Have you seen the price? Have you seen the price of Catalyst?
Yeah,
I know
An ultimatum farm yet?
I know a 6-man group that is currently doing ultimatum as we have this podcast.
As a 6-man group.
As a 6-man group.
Why?
Because 6 different people get 6 different sets of loot.
Oh,
Okay, that's how it
Ooh.
works. I was like gonna say, isn't it like way more profitable to split up and do 6 individual solo
Because you get
ultimatums?
hundreds and hundreds of catalysts and random shit.
Okay, that does not happen solo.
No, not correct. It does
Yeah.
not happen solo.
That does not happen. As a solo player, it is absolute trash.
Yeah, it is
Like, I
mega bad. It's so
I was
bad.
fully specced into it for the entire first 2 weeks. It's my favorite content in the game. I love it. It's trash. No,
I
no
need to
reward.
talk to Pox about this because Pox either he's on some copium or he knows something that we don't know, because Pox said it's not as bad as everyone makes it out to be, and he's been doing it, and I'm pretty sure he plays solo.
There's a gentleman that I know that's in all of our communities that's typing in Twitch, and he's saying that he knows somebody that's 20 div an hour, and I know from working with this gentleman in the past that he's not BS.
Okay.
So like maybe there is a possibility and we just don't know what it is. Because I have a guy in my Discord who does Ritual, and that's all he does the entire league. He makes like 20 div an hour. And I hate Ritual. I think Ritual's crap. I don't think Ritual's any good at all, but he time and time again proves us wrong. So maybe there is something and we just
don't write it off.
Yeah.
It's just it's slow and very hard. It is so rippy.
I know a guy who, if it's stand in the circles or survive, I think it's survive, he just leaves and doesn't do it.
Oh, okay.
So like I think there's an argument to be made that if it's certain ultimatums, they just leave.
Actually, yeah, so maybe is what they're doing, like doing an atoll map and then just doing the ultimatum, checking if it's not the right one, leave, and just like cycling through that?
Okay, so the 6-man group is the enemy. They say if you can't do the wave in the quickest amount of time, we literally leave. We will not do stand in the circle. In a 6-man, if you can't kill everything in under 5 seconds, we leave.
Okay. So they're like ripping through these things in a minute.
And then if it gets to the point where, I know because I've watched them do this, if it gets to the point, if in one of the waves, one of the players gets like ruin and they get a ton of ruin, that player can just step out of the ultimatum, leave, and their currency will fall.
Huh.
Interesting.
So in a 2-man, in another group with a 2-man, I know the Aura bot sometimes will like tank the mobs so that the carry can kill. And when the Aura bot gets the stacks of ruin and stuff, he just bails and ends the ultimatum for him. And he gets his loot, and the carry, if the carry can solo, like with like headhunter buffs or whatever, will keep going.
That's cool. It's true. Like I've fallen into this trap so many times where you just decide that something is bad. And I mean, even with Abyss, last league, I think, when did they do the rework on Abyss? After that, everyone was just like, it sucks. It's so bad.
It was Breach.
Was it Breach?
It was Breach. Everybody said Breach was bad. And Breach
is
Breach
insane. And Abyss were bad, and then in a different context, it might be really good, or it might be like a skill, right? Where someone says, "Oh, this skill is super shit," and then someone just gets it right, and suddenly it's excellent again. So, I guess
to be fair, Breach and Abyss were absolute trash for the exact purpose we were using them for before. What we all tried to use them for again, and then we were like, "Oh, this is actual garbage."
But in a new context,
like 2 weeks for like a new video to come out to be like, excuse me, this is how you use Breach now, and it's mental.
Exactly, yeah. So that's the same with Ultimatum, and we're sitting here saying it's trash, but there are people doing it right.
Yes,
and it's maybe not trash.
Well, look at like things like Breach rings. Like how many do you guys are? Oh, a really good example. I'll touch on Breach again in a second. A really good example is Balor. I had a guy come to me the other day. He said, I'm doing Blight Ravaged, and this will tie into my point. I'm doing Blight Ravaged. You're making money hand over fist. I'm not seeing money. And he sends me a screenshot of his pump explosion. His pump explosion has like nothing. I was like, well, bro, where are all your spine bows? Where are all your axes? Where are all your this? Like, where are all your bases? He goes, I don't see shit, man. Nothing fell. So I go into the map with my filter on and I see everything. And I'm like, well, like I sent him a screenshot. I'm like,
all this.
I was like, all of this is on the floor. And he's like, it's not on Balor's filter. And I was just like, cool. So you're filtering it out. And he goes, yeah, you know, I know Balor. I trust his strategies. I farm
for specific strategies. You need to build filters. I have generic everything filters.
Yes. I'm not shaming you. I'm not shaming you for it, but this ties into my point. Think about how many of us now go farm Breach and hide Breach rings.
Yeah. I try to tell people as much as I can. I'm like, these are the best generic filters you can get. When you pick a strategy, you need to make your own filter. Generic filters don't suit. Like, it's the best I can do, but it's not, because you don't want to pick up one Spinebow base randomly in a map. It's a waste of your time.
Yes.
If you're going to be getting 8 of them and you're going to be able to fill a tab with bases, you'll be able to sell 20, 30, 40 bases at once to some guy who's doing the crafting, and suddenly it's worth your time.
But that leads into what we were just saying about doing things right. So like if you farm breach and you are looking for only splinters, you're doing it essentially wrong, right? Like, because you're not picking up the rings. Now, I know a guy last league who I told this to, who started picking up the rings, and he would sell the rings for like 5-6C each on trade, on TFT. He would turn the rings in. He would get armors, you know, like we just don't know, right? Like, and people just don't know. Like when people found out, and I still don't know if a lot of people know this, about like Chayula armors being 100 divs with the right Chayula mod on them, or like multi-mirror with 2 mods, they would lose their mind.
There's money everywhere.
Yeah, like this doctor
Which
I
is
just
also,
found.
that's the same thing. I would never have breach rings on my generic filter.
Yeah.
Because one random breach I hit in one map, I don't want to pick up 2 rings.
I agree.
Put them in my inventory. It's not worth it. But if I'm going to put 9 breaches in my map and I'm suddenly a breach farmer, and that's my strategy, well, now rings need to go back on because that's part of the profit. You can't have it hidden.
I think too many people don't want to bother. You know, I'm at fault for this too. Like I'm using my buddy Reality's filter, and I can't be bothered to like adjust and alter filters unless I'm doing like blight stuff. Like when I do blight stuff, I like adjust and alter. But like I can't be bothered. I fall into this fault. I just follow somebody's filter, and I tell people, like when people copy my filter, I'm like, you gotta pray to God it has what you need. And they're like, oh, it's fine. And then I shut the filter off and put a generic filter on, and they're like, you're hiding alterations and fusings and jewelers and this and that, and what's wrong with you? This is why I'm broke. And I'm like, you're broke because you chose to do this blindly.
Yeah. I learned how to do filters this league. Well, Guitaraholic taught me last league. I've just been using NeverSync for forever. And this league, I couldn't take it anymore.
I actually learned from it.
It's so fun. It's so fun, man. And now it's getting like stricter and stricter and stricter and stricter. And slowly but surely, it's just like getting perfect. I can't believe it took me so long to do it, man.
There's and I don't mean to like not talk about specifically your guys' content, but I'm a huge fan of sharing good content when good content's created. But there's a guy on YouTube, and some of the people in the PoE community might know him, that's named Depano. He's like a big MFer. And he's got really good videos on his YouTube. Like, and that's how I learned. Depano was just like, or Dap was just like, dude, I have a video on this. Just like, go watch it. And he like makes this video about like Filter Blade. And it's just eye-opening, right? Because like now I don't want to do anything else. I just want to do like my own cool shit. And then I'll look to like different people's filters for different ideas for coloring and like sizing and stuff like that. But like the videos are out there. And the content's out there, and we can show people where it is. But yeah, people should definitely be making their own filters.
Yeah, and it's good to start off with a base, right?
Yes.
You see, that's what I did with NeverSync. I first see what do? You download it and then you can adjust it. I did that with his, and it wasn't strict enough. So then I yoinked Tuna's MF filter. The colors were atrocious. I don't know what his eyes are doing, but it was really ugly. But it was an excellent filter. But everything was like bright pink, and like I couldn't. So I started making it. And adjusting it and tweaking it, and I still had it named Tuna Filter Adjusted. And then I was like, man, I made like 400 changes to this thing. It's mine now. So that's another tip. If you're going to learn to do filters, start off with a base and work from there rather than just going like raw dogging it from the beginning.
Yeah, at the very least, like bases on one of the NeverSync, like strict or semi-strict, right? But I always go, honestly, for me, Balor's filter works fine, specifically this league, but I think you probably like made them a little bit less restrictive, seeing that you're playing in a private league, or do you have like a separate filter for your private league?
I have a separate filter for that.
Well, I'm just trying to say, like, I'm doing really well with your filter. I've never experienced that it's not showing things that I want to see, and I've never experienced that it's showing things that I don't want to see. If anything, it shows a little bit too much low currency, but I kind of appreciate that, and I don't mind picking it up because that saves me trades.
It would not suit, though, like earlier, if you decide to do a very, very specific strategy that has shit hidden, right?
Yeah,
if you decide, I'm going to go breach farming, well, now you need breach rings, because those are not on my filter. Because most people shouldn't be picking them up. You don't want 2 breach rings.
Yeah,
if you get 200 breach rings, you want those.
Yeah.
If you're going to get 2, you don't want that. It's not worth your time. It's a waste of time.
Yeah, breach specifically has people confused. I heard that, like a lot of people think that breach is really bad now, but like what I've been told is that breach is like really all about the hands now, right? Like you spec into it and you click all the hands, and you don't really care about the monsters, but you really care about clicking all
You care
those
about the
hands.
monsters.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. I'm just like,
You actually just the best trick is to buy the breach memory, and it puts like 30 breaches in your map, or not literal 30, but there's like it's like 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 or something like that. And they open and close really fast, and you play like Fulcrum or something, and you just like ignite the whole breach, and you get like 60 rings of memory, and a memory takes like 6 minutes, 10 minutes. There's a guy, Extraordinaire, that I know that's all he does. He makes the Fulcrum, last league in this league, and he just opens and closes breaches all day, and he just gets armors, and he sells armors.
That's cool. Yeah, but even the splinters are the worst, cheapest breach stone is selling for like 90C. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Maven's Wrist to 3.1.
It's crazy, man. There's so much currency. I'm in love with the economy because it feels like the economy for the last few leagues has been pretty stale, but the trade economy is really interesting this league. There's just so many opportunities to just do things differently. Sure, MF might be extremely good, but you can just go over to PoE Ninja and look at some of the prices of things. It's ridiculous, especially invitations. Invitations are, let's see, it's like 2.4 divines for an incandescent invitation.
Yeah.
Elder Slayers is like, it's just going up, 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 up. Crazy. There's so much cool stuff you can do this league.
You know what the weirdest thing is? This is the first league I've preached for a long time that the availability of div doesn't really actually change your buying power most of the time. Most leagues lead the league for the last 8 years. If you spend X amount of time farming, you can usually buy X amount of whatever product, and those numbers stay the same, whether it's 100C to a divine or 300C to a divine. Like the availability and price of things doesn't usually affect individual people's buying powers. Things are so weird this league because the buying power of things has changed. And I'm not entirely sure how that's happened. People are going to say, oh, it's because of all the stuff that's dropping on MF. But okay, but we've had great MF leagues before. We've had entire metas built around MF before. We've had so many different metas change. We've had so many different things. We've had times during Heist League where at that point it was Exalts instead of Divines, or like 20C instead. Right? Like there were so many Exalts that they were 20 Chaos. There were way too many, way more than there is this league in Divines. In Heist, there was way more Exalts then than there are this league in Divines. So we've had metas all over the place. But remaining league to league, your buying powers remained the same for your time played. Every single league, no matter what happened. And that's not the case this time, and it's weird. And it's
This
not
league,
even all up or all down. You've got a lot more buying power in some markets and a lot less in others. And it's just weird.
It's
don't play
it's
Tornado
cool.
Shot.
Yeah. Oh man, but it's exciting. But this league is on another level. There's nothing has come remotely close to this league. It's no, not even close, man. Okay. I don't know. Have you?
Well, sort of. That's sort of true. That's true for most people.
It's okay, but I'm talking about the top end, or at least there's enough people doing some juicing that is, dude, it's ridiculous. I got one map where I got 35 raw divines. This is without a divine shrine. 35 raw divines, like probably 200 awakened sextons, 50 exalts, 6 Voldos, 4 voidborn reliquary keys. Even back during Scourge, when you were doing like NEM 4 farming and Scourge, and this is
but it didn't
so
exist.
much more.
But Valdo boxes and keys didn't exist.
No, I know, but I'm just
go as far as to say even for the 1%, this is the best quantity MF league that's ever existed.
Like by 5 times.
For the 0.1%, it's not even close. Harvest was significantly better.
For MFing?
Mm-hmm.
No way, really?
People in the top like 0.1% in
okay, you mean like
Harvest
MPs
League.
groups and stuff.
No, I mean the people who make MPs look like amateurs.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
But they
Like
were
what,
getting
cabbage?
an average of 1.2 headhunters per map.
How much are they making this league?
Less than that.
Who are these people?
Not
Who
me.
are they? Not you?
Not content creators.
I need
Yeah,
to see
no,
it.
they are. Yeah,
But then where? How do we know? How do we know?
Well, I mean, I watched them do it in Discord.
I've seen it too.
I
Yeah.
watched them do 8 maps in a row and walk out with 12 headhunters, and we're like, yeah, this is how it is every time.
What the shit?
Wait till he tells you it's one guy playing 12 accounts doing like 2 maps at the same time.
No, these were
is-
several people at once.
Oh, we have different friend groups.
Yeah,
One mouse on every finger.
Yeah, I need to see it.
Group I was watching.
I've just had so many people message me this week saying not only have they found one mirror, they found 2 mirrors yesterday and 1 mirror today, and then 3 days later they message me and say, hey, our group found another 2 mirrors. It's at least in a general sense, I've never ever had that. Normally in a league you'll have 1, maybe 2 people who are like, I found a mirror. Now it's an expectation. For me, it's an expectation. I'm waiting for my mirror to drop. I'm expecting it will happen because I'm going to play enough. And I actually feel like I should have found one already. I've been unlucky, but I've never felt that. If it happens, it happens. Even during Scourge League, I did find a mirror during that league, and I was like, I could not believe it. It was unreal. It's going to happen this league.
Yeah.
It has
Dude,
to.
like, I've never had a mirror drop, but I feel like out of all the leagues ever, like this is the league where I actually feel that if I wanted to force a mirror drop, I could do that by just speccing into MF. Because I've seen other people do it. I've seen this one guy who came back after not having played for years and just got into the game, like knew relatively little about the meta and just like informed himself, watched some videos, made a good MF build, and juiced the shit out of the, excuse my language, out of burials and forced his mirror drop. Like he was actually looking for a headhunter, but he did get a mirror instead. And I was like, okay, yeah, that pays for the headhunter.
Yeah, so maybe it's like really, really special for the 1%. Maybe not the 0.01%, but yeah, it feels inevitable.
I don't want the mirror this league. Like I feel due for a mirror too because of how much I'm playing, right? But I don't want it this league.
Why?
Because it's irrelevant this league. We're so far into the league and money's so easy to come by. Please don't give me the mirror this league.
Give it to me. If you find one, give it to me.
Sure, you can have it. Give it to me. Give it to me day 2 of next league.
Yeah, sure. But wouldn't it have been massively helpful in paying back your debt if you got like a pure mirror drop?
Whatever. No, it would just been another item I buy. It would kill my. So like I go into debt for very specific reasons, right? Like I'm very goal oriented. So like last night I was playing and my buddy was like, how much more do you owe? And I was like, I don't know. I got to buy a quiver and an amulet. And he was like, how much do you need? And I was like, I don't know. I'll get there. And he's like, well, what's the next item? I was like, I don't know. It's like 200 divines. And he's like, why aren't you pushing for it? And I was like, I don't know. I don't have it yet. So he's like, what if I give you the 200 right now and you go buy the amulet? And I was like, well, then I would have a goal. I would owe you 200 right now. He's like, but you owe this guy. And I was like, yeah, but there's no numeric value on it. So for me, this guy giving me 200 divines last night, and he's like, go, here you go. So I make this amulet, which we showed earlier. And now I have a goal, right? This is why I go into debt, because now I have a numeric goal of something I want and something I'm aiming for. And I've already paid it back. So like now I'm like sitting here and I'm like dirtling with you guys, like making money towards the rest of the build and the rest of the gear that I own. But like the goalpost is like shortening. So like I don't need the money as much anymore. When I was 5 mirrors in debt, like, yeah, the mirror would have been great. But now that I'm like 300 divines, like, I don't give a shit. Like, give me the mirror next league.
Dude, this league is going to destroy our brains. You reckon that next league we're going to have enough of a reset that we go into it and it's going to feel normal? Or do you think that the community, the kind of collective consciousness is now permanently damaged by this league?
You can't take the quant away. You can't.
Hey, thank you for doing my transition. I appreciate that. That's exactly the question I was going to ask next. What are the consequences of this extremely generous league? Which, like, I mean, it's kind of a Christmas league. Like, I kind of appreciate that so many things are more affordable, that the game feels so generous and good. But I have to wonder, like, how is it going to be if next league we return to the trend of, like, not extreme famine, but, like, somewhat famine leagues, like Calandra or, you know, Crucible, where you do fight a lot of super juice, super strong monsters, but you're not really getting a lot of direct rewards back. I mean, there's still ways to get rich, but
I'll tell you why I think it'll be fine. Because in February, we're all going to spend the last month playing Last Epoch, and we'll have forgotten about this by the time the new season comes around.
No, there's no season after Last Epoch, right? Or there's one more league launch before the beta. True.
Before beta. I think we'll be okay, but this league, at least to me, almost feels like GG saying, here you go. Here's the most juicy league of all time. Now you understand that there is a limit. At least that's how it feels to me. There's some maps I run where I'm like, this is stupid, man. There's too much stuff dropping. This is too much. It's too much. No, but it makes me feel good. But at the same time, it made me realize there is a line of how profitable a league mechanic should be. And we've like run over that line.
We had this in Calandra League. We had loot goblins that had conversion. No. We had in Calandra League loot goblins that had rarity explosions that scaled off the map and quant and all that BS that we did, which is why we hired colors. And the community said, we don't want this. This is trash. Yeah, and now it's back, and everybody's like, "We want it." Like
this is not at all.
This is different. It's completely different.
It's the same thing. The difference is in Calandra League, when that guy's name was Solaris Touch, I was jerking off waiting to try to go get a color to kill this guy. Now this guy's name is like Ironclad Rare Monster hidden in an abyss underneath a spire.
Okay, but the other differences are, one, we're not just nothing dropping the whole map waiting for the one mob that drops loot. That was trash. Two, we're not at the mercy of, oh shit, my build's too good and I just killed the dude instantly and now I can't go get my color, so I made one divine instead of 70. We're also not at the mercy of, hey, there's the dude, let me Whirling Blades back away, pop over to the TFT Discord, see if I can message somebody to come in and kill my monster for me. That was trash.
And that was the core game.
That was terrible. Yeah.
Those were the ground.
Yeah, and that was the main thing. And outside of that, there wasn't really much to do. And now there's so many things to do that you could do to get rich.
Exactly. Oh man, Calandra. I think the reason you didn't hate Calandra as much is that you hadn't played PoE a ton for a few leagues, so you didn't have that like. I don't know. Why are we talking about this?
But so like so Balor said earlier, I'm weird. I get excited over like chaos and shit. Right?
Yeah.
Like, so like the lack of loot didn't affect me because like I was just blighting, bro. Who cares? Like, you know, I was having a good time.
Where the rest of us were having meltdowns.
Yeah.
But I hope people's brains reset.
So
I really do.
Let me ask a devil's advocate question. What if, and I heard this in Discord last night, what if the loot that we're getting now is to showcase and separate the difference between the two games? We've seen that PoE 2 is going to be a reset of everything and reset of player power. And we know that PoE 2 can be fast because we heard from like people like Guitarholic and people who played it that if you get better gear, it's more speedy. But what if this is a showcase to demonstrate that we're going to have our Dark Souls game in PoE 2 and our loot explosion game in PoE 1, and it just like sets the standard?
Good. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I like it.
Yeah.
But do you think there's
for it.
I was going to say, do you feel like there's ever going to be a league this juicy ever again?
How do you take it away?
Yeah, the next league.
You can't.
Absolutely.
They can take it away.
Think about that.
They just don't make it core, and then it's gone. It's that easy.
Yeah, but there's going to be something else, right? Like, I don't know. I said, how do you ever get past tattoos? And like, now look what we have.
Yeah.
You know, in the league before that, you're like, wow, how does this ever get better than Crucible weapons? And then how does this ever get better than Sanctum?
Yeah.
And in every league, it's like they're just like, hold my beer, bro. Like, I was devastated. I was like, there's no shot. Tattoos can never leave. They've ruined the game. How do they do this? And they're like, no, see you later. And then they brought Hitakora's locks back. And they were like, Hitakora.
And by the way, here you got like 3 charms and an insane jewel that has 4 charm mods.
Yeah. So funny note, Hitakora's locks was added less than 48 hours before the league launched. It wasn't even like on the cards.
Oh, that's crazy. How do you know that? Or did they say that? Or where was that?
Balor has the inside plug.
Anyway.
Oh, okay, it's fine. That's cool. That's
like
cool.
It wasn't part of the plan, and then somebody was like, but it could be though. Like this part could be. And then the other people who like are in charge were like, yeah, actually that could be. That could actually be. And so they just fucking slipped it in, didn't even tell us. It wasn't even in the patch note.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, like it wasn't. It was just a surprise. Like they added it like last minute. They were like, actually, yeah, it's fine. You can have those.
Yeah, we all thought they were not going to be in when we read patch notes because the patch notes said that they were going to be nerfed, as in they couldn't predict the outcome of Alva corruption temples anymore. And then we were like, yeah, if they were in, if there was a way to get them, they would tell us at this point, right? So if they're not telling us, that means they're not in.
Well, they use the very specific word of scarce, and that they would like become more limited as time went on, right? So we were all under the assumption that like omens, tattoos, Hitakora's locks in standard setting would just eventually dry up.
Yeah,
and
like
that's
Eternals.
and that's why communities started hoarding them, because the minute they said that it was going to be scarce, well, I mean, people were hoarding them beforehand, right? Like. But I don't know. The hell with Wish. Just let me keep the extra bag space.
Actually, that I really want my bag space, to be honest. Like more than any other thing in this entire league, I don't want to lose my extra backpack.
Yep,
dude, it's so nice. Just keeping your maps in there, or at least it has like a little break where you can say, okay, this is this stuff and this is this stuff. And I'm like, when I
got
put
my ID
maps,
scrolls, my portals, my maps, the corrupted essences if I'm doing essences, like just a little space for like the things that aren't actually loot from my map.
Exactly. Do you think they will keep it?
I hope we keep it. No. I hope we keep it.
What if we complain enough on Reddit? Do you think they'll keep it?
I think you complain on the main forums, not Reddit.
Well, Reddit's fine. They read Reddit too.
Do they actually? That's crazy.
Yeah, they do, dude. It's like
I didn't know
that. So here's the thing. They're us. They are us. Like,
what do you mean with that? You have to.
Everyone in that building plays the game. They're all. They're all players. They're all lovers of PoE. They're all in the community. Like, most of them are consuming your YouTube videos. Most of them are. Like, they're playing. They're us. Of course they read Reddit. They read Reddit because we read Reddit.
Yeah.
Like, that's... They're us. They see it. It's fine. Here's the thing. If enough of us, if enough of the community says we absolutely have to have that pocket added, it will get added. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. If enough of us say, I must keep this, and there's enough of a fuss about it, they'll go, okay, and they'll give us the backpack. I promise.
That's something we've been asking for years right? Like, since they've kept adding new things to the game. I mean, back when the inventory size was decided, PoE was a very different game from how it is now. And there's been so many like little currencies, fragments, tidbits of loot added that now are somewhat required to pick up, right? Of course, you can always make your filter even stricter so that you'll never fill your inventory in your map. But at a certain point, it feels silly to leave things out. And specifically the issue of like wanting to get into the zone, as Snube put it so eloquently the other day on the podcast, where it's like you really want to get to that point where you don't think about what you're doing, but you just like going through your content that you set up for yourself. And in that situation, it almost always happened to me that I clicked everything out of my inventory. Sometimes even my portal scrolls and my ID scrolls. But if I had remnants on me or like other things, pre-rolled maps, I'd always click them back. And then they get automatically sorted into the map tab because of the affinities. And then you have to pick them out again. And it's like, oh, wait, which one was these? And yeah.
All right.
So even if they just do
Yeah.
half a backpack, right? But it is included with every character, just a small currency pouch. I feel like sometimes they're doing these things, like they did Ruthless with Gold, right? To test what the community will do if they give certain features to us.
Yeah.
And I'm just hoping, like the hopium is big, I'm clinging on to the idea that the backpack was an actual test of like how it will affect what players do.
I want
and whether
the
there's
map
any
pack
negative
back.
stuff.
From the tinctures that lets me see where the rare mobs are. I want that.
From
Yeah,
the
that-
tincture
that is
ascendancy,
very
yeah.
good.
I was gonna bring that up when Balor said I don't want the backpack to go. I don't want that to go because that's so good with Headhunter because you know where the rares are, right? So you can directly go for the rares, stack up the
Yeah.
buffs, and then kill the rest.
I love that, and it's also the reason I quite often used to put like metamorph scarabs on every single map, even though I didn't want to do the metamorph, is just to do that. But I can live without it, and I know I can live without it, and I don't. Every time I play a character that doesn't have a backpack, I'm like,
Feels
even if
so
the build's
bad.
going well, even if the build's going great, I'm just sitting there like almost all the time. I'm like, my backpack though. I'm gonna put my maps all the way over here. If I pick up too much loot, I'm gonna put them away. Like I
So-
just want my backpack, please.
I want charms too because like charms are a big part of D2.
See, that's just power.
No, but like
You want
charms are
charm?
big. I want
Not charms
D-
in
I don't
current
want
implementation,
D2
but you want
charms.
D2 charms.
yeah, I want
no,
that
no.
idea. Like very
I don't.
basic, like small.
No.
No, you don't.
Pop.
No, I hate.
No,
I love D2 charms, but I also hate them, man.
No,
Like when you're MFing in D2, yeah, I think it works in D2 because you're finding not that much high value stuff. You can just keep your cube
But
in the top
I-
right corner and pop stuff in there. But for PoE, imagine,
Yeah,
man.
let me get a charm with like 20 fire res on it. Stick it in my tornado shot character. I ain't gotta worry about the friggin' Venter fire roll.
Oh no,
Yeah.
There's too much stuff in PoE. Oh no.
Yeah, no, I don't want that at all.
Or
I
have
don't
it
want
take
it at
up
all. I
like
just want my backpack. That's all.
what do you think? Like a small charm, just one slot?
Yeah, give me a charm inventory.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, shit, they can test it, but I think people
Like
hate
an-
it.
I loved gold too. I want gold to come back like in the base game. I loved gold. Ruthless with Gold was my favorite. That thing was awesome.
Oh, that's.
Oh, you- so you did play that?
I also
I
hate
played.
that.
I love. I actually really enjoy Ruthless, but nobody will watch it, or I would
Yeah.
stream it.
Okay, I know. I get
love
that.
Ruthless is fun as hell.
I've heard that take a lot.
Yeah.
I kind of not sure how much it's true because, like, I don't know. Maybe there's just a very limited pool of Ruthless watchers, and if it's a 1 or 2 Ruthless streamers, then it's okay for them. But if there's 10, then they would spread out to thin. Maybe that's the case. But like,
I
I
just-
feel like
no.
Tati did a really good job with Ruthless streaming the other league and had like really good consistent viewer numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ruthless can be
I've been
streamed fine.
called cooked multiple times during this, so like I'm sure I'm getting called cooked for like saying I like Ruthless. It's funny.
It's good.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It might just be something where, you know, the same way that you felt like you have to do MF in order to maintain your viewers, but if you do anything else but MF, then it doesn't work for you. But I'm pretty sure like a lot of people have a different experience with that as well. Maybe it's just
Yeah.
you. Maybe it's just you do something different when you don't MF or when you do not play softcore trade, right? Like,
When I made
Maybe-
an MF character in our private league, chat was angry at me for 3 days. People would come in and be like, God fucking damn it, play something else. Stop it.
I'm getting the
character
go.
away.
See, I'm getting the go back to Fulcrum.
Oh no.
Like that's what I've been getting. People are like, "You're playing Tornado Shot still? Why are you playing Fulcrum? Go back to Fulcrum." I played Mauve Mishis for like 12 hours, and I have like one guy who's like, "Please, dear God, play more minions." I've got one guy. He's in YouTube chat. He shows up all the time. He goes, "Please, carrying golems, please, I beg, carrying golems, carrying golems."
MF or
Just carrying
No.
golem. He don't care. He just wants golems.
why?
I played
Private maps,
minions
right?
for 1 day, and he was like, "You got to go back, bro."
That's so cute.
carrying golems is still the build to do for like blighted maps, right? Blight Ravaged.
You can
I
do
think
anything in blighted
yeah.
maps.
Yeah.
But you just play anything that ignites, explodes, or proliferates, and you just kind of like AFK.
You just play anything that can build a tower.
Yeah.
like
Pretty much.
they do 95% of the work.
99. Yeah, just get your Chaos Res Captain. You're good.
So load up your old school Winter Mall TD, get a couple of maps in, you'll be able to play Blight no problem.
If I was making a Blight farmer, I would make my marionette build.
The marionette build, like the Maw of Mischief marionettes?
No, just the Auto Bomber Expector build. I made it this league. It's my favorite build of the league so far. It's just full automated damage. They run out and then they blow up, and then they respawn and then they run out and then they blow up.
There's a guy on YouTube, Kaiwai Sorrow, I think it is, and he made MF marionettes with Ignite, and I played that before I got loaned the Tornado Shot gear, and the marionettes, like, this build was just like awesome, like out of control awesome. So I'd have to look at yours. I didn't even know. That sounds cool as hell though. Mine
was just a straight Spectre build, no more of Mischief, no input required from the player. Period at all.
All
None.
Right. We going AFK later today.
Yep.
Actually, I might make that build. I'm thinking about it. Like, it sounds really, for some reason, oddly attractive to me right now to make a Blight farmer and to sit in Blight Ravaged and to be juicing those oils and all that. So maybe I'll do that at some point. Still plenty of league left. Oh, maybe I could do that in BPL. Maybe I could do Blight in BPL. I was thinking either Delve or Blight or Heist. But Delving is what I'm doing right now in Softcore Trade. And Heisting is... I don't know whether I want to do that, but Blight? Could be. Oh, we'll just see what the team needs.
I'm here. I'm just eating a chocolate. You don't have to see that.
Mukbang podcast.
Not trying to advertise the chocolate. You're not getting sponsored by the chocolate manufacturer.
Where's your G Fuel, man? You should have your G Fuel out in the cup, facing into the camera while you're casually sipping with your code, like underneath your name for checkout.
Oh man, hook it up. I don't know.
You said that like it's a bad thing, and I'd do it starting tomorrow if they were willing to pay me. Like, I mean, what do you mean? Give me some money. I'll drink out of a cup with anything you want on it.
Anything?
I mean what I said.
Oh God. Yeah. Best sponsor Manscaped. That's the sponsor I want. That's not G Fuel. I wouldn't drink G Fuel.
Couldn't do that.
No offense against those who do, but I'm just like not an energy drink person.
It would be cool, but every single creator who does a Manscaped ad talks about their nutsack, and it's weird.
I already do that for free.
Oh, okay.
So that probably suits me, to be honest.
Sorry if this gets demonetized now.
Nah, it's fine.
I think there's a fun conversation. I don't know if this is the time or place for it, but I think there's definitely a fun conversation about content creators in the PoE space and advertisements, especially like playing ads and stuff.
No one does it. It's crazy. Like, there's so much money to be made, and almost no one does sponsors, and I don't know why.
I do all the time.
Yeah, which you should. But not many people do. I get so many Raid Shadow Legends offers, and I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, I have done one Opera GX ad, and I did it because I was like, I use Opera GX, and it's awesome, and you're paying me to do it. Like, hell yeah, I'll do that. But a lot of this stuff is just, I don't know if I want to sell something that I don't really care about.
That's exactly it. I literally only take the ones that I would support anyway.
Yeah,
so
only the things that I would endorse anyway, even without getting paid for it. Like, only if I can do it without like omitting any like feelings that I have about it, any critique or something like that. If I just can share my honest enthusiasm about a product, then sign me up.
But
I've also done Opera GX, and I did Torchlight just recently because I play Torchlight anyway. They approached me for a sponsor, and I like looked at my Steam, and I've got 380 hours in the last 2 seasons. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do Torchlight, no problem. Because like I'm just gonna play it anyway. What do you mean?
Exactly, it's great. But people should be. Viewers are actually a lot more understanding and receptive to ads than you might realize. I've had a lot of people who say like, dude, if you need to do a Torchlight ad, not a Torchlight ad, like a Raid Shadow Legends ad to pay your rent, it's okay, we understand. Like, you don't need to be as hard on yourself, but at the same time, I do have that feeling of like, I don't want to, be disingenuous with my own content. Like, I don't want to dilute it and make it seem Yeah, I don't know, but people understand, man. If you got to pay your bills, you got to pay your bills. So take those ads. What ads do you do, Travic?
I'm not gonna. It's not my show. I can't pimp my own discount codes. What do you mean?
Tell us. What do you,
Well,
what do
you
do
can
ads
say like
for?
generically what category of product are you advertising?
Yeah,
I've done
do you
like-
have
I've
any
done-
integrity?
I've done State of Survival, which is pretty good. I do all the Twitch bounty board stuff, which is really good. I actually have a G Fuel. That's why I made the joke. I won't do like the RMT guys. Those guys are really aggressive.
Oh no, yeah.
Bro,
Oh, they're
they-
so aggressive. Every second day in my inbox is like,
it's
hey,
insane.
would you like to support our product of we sell currency to
No,
people?
yeah.
No.
Dude.
Stop
What
emailing me.
about like
Also-
Chinese Amazon tech drop shippers?
Also, has
Oh,
anyone
I haven't
ever
done
said
that,
yes
no.
to them?
No,
Who's
because you
running
would,
RMT ads? I've never seen one.
no one. No,
Why
because
are
you
they
would be deleted.
Emailing me.
No, there's guys that do it. I know a couple content creators that do it. Yeah, I won't name drop anybody, but like there's definitely a couple people that like if you like search around on YouTube and you watch some of these like older guys that have been around the block, they have it on there.
No
Really?
way, but
Yeah,
if
dude.
you
I
did
mean,
that now, you would be destroyed.
No, you
man.
wouldn't.
You're-
Yeah, I
not
think
at all.
you'd ruin your reputation as a
no,
PvE
you're
player.
right.
Hold on,
You
wait,
would
wait, wait.
100%. You'd be gone.
No,
you would be done, dude.
No, listen.
Not
your
only would you
account
be
would get
gone,
banned.
You'd be banned. Your
Yeah, you'd be
account would be over as well.
Is
all
it like
for that sweet $500 or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah.
I told them I would do it for $1 million, and I did not hear back. So I'm still waiting.
I told them 200,000.
Really?
You're richer than me. I said 200 grand. I'll make you an RMT ad.
Dude, I actually, what is your number? What is, I think if they actually gave me $100,000, it would solve so many problems in my life. And I think you could spin it to the point that the community understands. We're just like, guys,
yeah?
You're
Because
We're
we
just
have
taking the
to-
money and
yeah,
running.
You're just
Like-
robbing scammers.
like you have to understand this is gonna like pay off half my house. I'll be able to stream more on a new account, and like I need to do this. Yeah. I think there might be a certain number of people would understand, but they're not offering that.
Oh, there's a number for everything. Like I will make your RMT ad for the right amount of money, but it's going to be
not
enough
that.
money that I don't have to be a streamer anymore or
Yeah,
anything else.
Yeah, GGG probably would permaban you as well.
Yeah. You give me enough money, I don't have to do anything for the rest of my life. I'll advertise anything you want.
Hell yeah.
Like
All right.
anything.
Anything.
Yeah, anything you want. If I don't have to work for the rest of my life for that, yeah, sure, absolutely. I'll do whatever you want. And you know what? Every single person who finds out how much you earn from that, they'll be like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, exactly. They'll be like, cool, I would have done the same.
It's time to go spin the slot machine wheel for our favorite website.
Yep.
I feel like bad for like trying to lead it back onto topic because we're having a fun conversation here. But I was wondering about now after we talked about. Wait, how do I get into this? I thought that next league was going to be a famine league. I was like, how are we going to recover from this league's, dopamine overload? And then now that we talked about that, next league might be the very last league most of us play in Path of Exile 1. Like,
No.
I suspect we'll still be playing every single league.
Yeah, they said that they were going to cater, right? They said that the PoE 2 will alternate, or like there'll be you'll start PoE 2 league, and then PoE 1 will start midway through, and then you'll play that, and then midway through that it'll be PoE 2. So I mean, like
2 months, 1 month.
yeah, there's
Absolutely.
like never a window, especially like if you're doing it full time, right? The only because so many of us, or at least for the content creator side, like pigeonhole ourselves into one thing, right? I can't speak for like certain people, but like we're pigeonholed, right, into like the ARPG. And if GGG is giving us the opportunity to do both, why wouldn't you just constantly do it all the time?
no, absolutely. And I'm in favor of that. But like, and I'm not saying the PoE 1 is going to stop, right? But like, in the same way that Legacy League was the last league before 3.0, next league is the last league before the PoE 2 beta. And it's definitely going to be the end of an era. And now I'm wondering whether they're going to do something that's possibly even more generous than this league in terms of, maybe not in terms of raw drops, but maybe in terms of like borrowed power that we get from the league, or accessibility of like certain high-end content, or I don't know. Like, I'm just super hyped and stoked for next league now, because I'm like, they might have something really special for us. Maybe it's not like, you know, Crucible 2.0 or like whatever league that we look back on where we're like, that wasn't my best experience in Path of Exile this year. But maybe next league is going to be better than all the like last 4 leagues that we had.
Travic, give us your best copium. What are they going to give us?
I'm still playing this league. I'm still hyped about this league. I didn't even think about next league. Also, like, just because it's the beta, I don't think it's going to change anything, right? Like, you know what I mean? So, like, yeah, the beta's coming out in June, right? Like, or is it June or July? July? I don't even know.
I thought it was June, but
it might be June. I don't know. But it's a beta, right? Like, the game's not out. Like, I don't think it's the end of PoE 1 yet.
Or no, like not the end, but an end of an era, right? The end of PoE 1 being the only PoE.
I don't think the beta's enough. Like, for me, I'm excited for PoE 2, but I'm not excited for the beta. If that makes sense. So, like, I guess in my older age, because I'm like in my 30s now, right? Like, the idea of a beta is really cool, and the idea of getting to try it is really cool, but then you take it away from me.
I mean, I'm 36.
No, but they're not taking it away. They said it's going to run until release.
Oh, okay. So I thought it was a limited time thing then.
Yeah,
that's me being misinformed.
Yeah.
I apologize. Then yeah, I was misinformed because I thought it was a limited time thing.
No.
But even if it's limited, that even like puts more pressure on you to play it, because obviously the people who played the beta have a massive advantage at the launch of PoE 2.
Meh. Just play the game. Have fun.
I'm super excited. I
don't see how those things exclude each other.
Nah, we'll see. It's going to be interesting because there might be so much stuff in PoE 2 that we end up with like dedicated PoE 1 streamers and dedicated PoE 2 streamers. I can't imagine anyone's only going to play PoE 1, but I imagine there will be people who only play PoE 2.
Yeah, I've definitely talked to people who said like for the first year or so they're only gonna play PoE 2 to get good at it. But yeah, I can't see myself doing that specifically with hosting the podcast and all. I'm going to want to hop back and forth. And I'm going to be super hyped that, like, you know, the way that we currently do the podcast is like first month of the league, we do a lot of podcasts. Second month of the league, it dies down. We maybe do one per week, sometimes skip a week because BPL or something like that is coming in between. And then third month of the league, almost no podcast. And then when we have PoE 1 and PoE 2 alternating with the league every 1.5 months, there will never be a podcast off season. There will just always be podcasts.
It is going to be the best game to be a content creator for, at least in terms of content. Like, and I think probably if you look at the Diablo 4 numbers that a lot of content creators were getting, it could be a really good time to
on Twitch or YouTube.
Both, man.
This matters. It's still very well received on YouTube.
Diablo 4?
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is that it is like if you get in at the right time, you could make so much money on YouTube and Twitch by streaming. I'm thinking if maybe I can save enough by the end of next year going full time, but I don't know. It's so scary, man. But at the same time, I don't want to miss the boat, because if you don't take that gamble and you just slip behind, then I don't know. Well, the money could be insane, though.
There are definitely opportunity windows, right? So, like, I said this to you, and you and I had this conversation in depth during Calandra League. I said Calandra League was the best opportunity ever.
Yeah, it was.
Smaller content creators to take advantage of a big gap. So I've been in multiple directories. I've done Dead by Daylight for multiple years. I played Magic professionally for multiple years, and then I came to Path of Exile. And I've seen this in other directories a lot, where the game gets stale, the game gets boring, the game has a big lull. For us, or from my understanding, the recent one was Calandra League, where the bigger content creators or people move away. And there becomes a gap in viewership and a gap in opportunity. And I think the Path of Exile window was Calandra League. And I don't know if Path of Exile 2 is that gap again for the smaller guy to take full advantage. I think there's a window for sure to make content and grow and have a chance. But I think the saturation of the directory puts a hindrance on a lot of things. I think it's stupid to not make as much content as physically possible and pump it out to a disgusting amount. Yes, because you give yourself you're shooting until something hits, right? You're rolling the dice until it hits. But I think the window to have gone full time and the window to put a huge hole was Calandra League.
I think
for me, I'd say
a trap.
Say it again.
I think looking at what other people do is a trap.
Sure.
I think it doesn't matter what game you're playing, what window you're in, what other content creators are doing, saturation, not saturation.
It matters if you want to
keep making shit, and it'll be fine.
It does matter though if you've got a house you're trying to pay off and it doesn't pan out. Then it feels like a bit of a gamble. So you do want to try find that window. There is that window toward the tail end of every league though, when Zizarin is playing old school RuneScape. That's when I sometimes had streams with like 500 people watching just because no one was playing PoE, none of the big guys. I don't know.
Yeah, for me, that window was Blight League, if I just may throw that in. Like, Blight League was like so many creators left Blight League after 2-3 weeks because it just wasn't what they hoped for.
And WoW Classic, yeah.
I think at the same time I did like my most successful YouTube video, which was the Orb of Storms Wave of Conviction speed leveling strat explanation cut together. And definitely end of Blight. I was sitting naturally at above 100 viewers when I streamed a lot of times.
Yeah.
But I've been slacking in between and lost a lot of momentum, which, there's always growth, but maybe not always in the same areas, right? There's many different aspects to my life or any life in general. So sometimes it's not immediately visible here or there, but I feel like I've improved in other areas, so that's good.
Yeah.
It's like very easy to look at metrics, right? And to like distill everything down to like one single number and then be like, oh yeah, if the number goes down, then I'm sad. But there's so many other factors to consider. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Like the same way that in the game you can focus on divines per hour, you can lose yourself as a content creator in the numbers for your videos and just, yeah. I mean, I do understand. I get your point when you're saying you have fixed costs and you depending on a full-time income from streaming, then you kind of want to cater to the meta of the content creation, right? And like be one of the first guys who reacts to new information in the patch cycle and be one of the first guys who brings out their league starter recommendations and the best currency making strats and whatnot. But I also get Balor's point as to, don't maybe if you're trying to be successful, you shouldn't try and play the game that everyone else is playing, right? But you should find a different niche that is not being catered to.
That's
true. I get
that
copy can be hard.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys make good points, all of you, for sure. It's scary though.
All right. Let me ask you. Let me just run a thing by you. We're going to run 2 scenarios real quick. And in both of them, you made the wrong choice.
Oh,
right?
All right.
In both of them, you made the wrong choice. So let's say you don't decide to go full-time for PoE2. You keep your job. That's the safe bet.
Mm-hmm.
And in this instance, you find out for sure that if you had, you would have made at least as much as you're making at your job, if not more, and would have become successful and been able to grow from there. But you didn't pick that option.
Yeah.
The other option
is
that you decide to do it, you go real hard, you don't grow, and after 6 months you have to go back to your work. Which one do you regret doing more? Which of those situations is way more regretful to you 10 years from now?
Yeah, the first
one. That you tried 100%. And failed, or that you failed to try?
Yeah, I like it. That's a good perspective, because there are, I guess, safety nets in place. I have been trying to save as much as I can, just so that, if I do it and it's a disaster, it's like the house I'm not gonna lose a house. But you're right. There are. I don't have to see it as like, if I fail, I lose everything. It could just be like, if it doesn't work out, I can go back to my old employers who know that I'm doing this and say, hey, it didn't work out. Like, it's not a disaster.
And then if that happens, you know that you gave it a really good shot.
And I don't hate it. I like the work-life balance type thing. I mean, work stream balance, not just doing it full time. It's sometimes, man, like toward the tail end of a league, I'm so grateful that I'm not full time, because I'm just like, dude, I don't want to play PoE now, and I don't have to, fortunately. But when PoE 1 and 2 and you're getting that ping pong every 6 weeks, there's some new exciting thing. Oh man, I'm gonna be FOMOing for that if I'm not part of it. So yeah, I like that. I like what you said. It's a good perspective.
That thing I explained is how I make every single life decision I've ever made.
I'm gonna employ it.
Close my mind and envision the worst case of both options, and then figure out which one I hate more and don't do that one.
Okay, I'm gonna steal that. I'm yoinking. Brilliant.
Yeah. That reminds me of a blending method, and that's a super sick sidetrack that I'm not going to bring up. We wanted to still talk about builds, but I just wanted to summarize what Balor said as the classic real-life sentiment of you miss every, or like 100% of the shots you don't shoot, right? So you always want to be shooting the shots as long as you're fine with the downsides.
Yeah. Okay. You guys have like given me so much to think about now.
What a deep podcast.
Yeah.
We're all going to have to meditate for hours after this. One topic I definitely wanted to get into is because I know you guys both are MFing, and obviously you make money not just for the sake of making money, which can in itself be a very satisfying thing in Path of Exile, but ideally you're saving towards a goal. There's something fun that you want to do with all that money once you're done with MFing. And I'm curious what that is for you guys, and before we go into that, I'm wanting to hear from BalorMage how the most recent build experiments worked out, because last time we talked, you were playing your bossing character, and you were talking about how you want to make a Impale Bladefall Breaker of Oaths kind of thing, like try the little bit underwhelming Ascendancy, Wildwood Ascendancy that is? Warlock, exactly.
I tried real hard to make that work.
It looked so good when I tuned into the stream and you were killing that tier 7 cemetery map boss in like half a second.
Yeah, that was a tier 4 cemetery.
Oh, tier 4, right. Wow.
Yeah. And it didn't get any more damage than that. I ended up with like 900k DPS. I was like, okay, let me pull up Path of Building and see what happens if I put like proper min-max gear into it. And so I put like proper gear into it, like big boy gear. And then I had 2.4 mil and was like, nope, that ain't it. Bye. And re-rolled. Because that's like, we were talking, I don't know, like 100, 120 divines, which is like big boy for a starter build. And to still only be at 2 mil, no quant, no magic find, no nothing, like designated trying to do damage, and to be at 2 mil after like 100 divinish investments. And I was just like, nope, it's gone. Warlock's trash. Didn't save it. Bye.
It somehow reminds me of my Reap Juggernaut like last league, where I had to buy the Awakened Spell Cascade for a ridiculous amount of divines, and it just ended up making the build barely acceptable. But then I've seen other people do really good Ignite Reap builds that, maybe I'm just shit at making builds, who knows.
So now I've moved on to a different concept. I want to make the kinetic bolt of fragmentation or whatever it is, but as a poison pathfinder, because I'm going to be honest, I haven't watched any of the videos and other people's stuff. I've watched one clip of the thing, which was, I think, a Jung video. He had like a 500 million DPS Deadeye. And they're like, practically one-shotted an Uber. And I was like, I don't need 500 million DPS. What if I had 50 million DPS, but I was immortal? What if I had a 10th of that damage, but I couldn't die? And then I went, let's do that. And so that's what I'm going to try and do.
Yeah, that Jung build looked
That sounds
juicy.
good.
Well, have your mindset on something, Lolcohol?
Not yet. I have been thinking about it because I have hundreds of divines sitting in my stash and nothing to spend it on. I'm thinking either doing a bossa or just going full tornado shot MF.
Don't do it.
Don't
do it.
Why? Why?
Wait. Do both.
Do both.
Make a tornado shot bossa.
A tornado
There's a guy in
shot
standard
boss.
who's doing it. It's insane. It's crazy.
Yeah. But I want to MF. I want to MF more. It's so much fun. Minions?
Get more wisp.
More wisp. Yeah.
Get more
no,
wisp.
I mean, but I want to do like Legion instead of Abyss. Abyss is really good, but it's also really cringe.
I don't do
trying to keep that Spire alive.
I don't do Abyss.
You don't do Abyss. I took it off for a while and added it back, and it's too good. When it does pop, it's too good.
Yeah, but I don't want to chase it over there and then chase it
Yeah,
back here.
it does.
And then,
But it's so much XP.
yeah,
so
but I
much-
could
Well,
just
I'm
shoot a
level
Legion.
100.
I could shoot a Legion in 10 seconds. Hours.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
for hours. Come on.
Yeah.
Divines per
If
hours.
you're playing, but I mean, Legion is garbage on.
I don't know
on
how
Ignite
Legion-
Chieftain.
No, not true.
No,
As
No.
long as you've got enough
So
area,
bad.
it's good. If
Yo,
you don't
you
have enough area, it's trash.
You ready? You ready for the tech? You ready for the tech?
Tell me.
Okay. Get a charm that says all damage can ignite. Swap one of your charms for all damage can ignite, and then put on Ori Ascend.
Okay. Will you type that out for me so I don't forget?
You need
Yes.
enough. You need that's a really good way to do it, but you need via some means enough area to guarantee that you prolife through the whole Legion, and then it's fucking great.
How much is
it's
enough? What is the breaking point? Like we're talking like 30% increased AOE, 60%,
Depends on the thing
120.
you're playing.
It's just enough to
Right.
go from one mob to the next, right? And
I
enough
thought you were-
for-
I thought you were talking about scaling the Aureas and explosions with increased AOE,
it's
so
both.
that they
no,
would.
no.
It's both.
I'm just saying Arias End is one way. It's a
Yeah.
great way. It's not the only way. Like you need to accomplish a way of making sure that you open the whole Legion at once with Ignite Prolif, and then you're good. There's a
All
bunch
right. Okay,
of ways
cool.
you can do it. That Arias End way is one of my favorite as well. I really like that way. But there's other solutions, and it doesn't really matter which one you do. You just have to do one of them.
Or you just
Okay.
run mob to mob really fast.
I tried that, but then it doesn't explode and then it doesn't spread.
Don't be bad.
But-
Make it explode.
Okay, so this is a me problem.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I'm not trying to be mean.
I'll
Is it you? Because I get this question all the time, and then I do it. So like I don't know how you guys are, but people are like, oh, this doesn't work, and then you go do it, and they're like, still doesn't work. I'm like, I'm doing it in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, I can get like 90% of the Legion. It's not like Tornado Shot where you just go "Brrr," and it's all dead and then it goes. "Brrr."
So I also just prefer Tornado Shot over Fulcrum on everything. I
Yeah,
just like it better. But that doesn't necessarily make it better, but it feels better. I prefer it. But
yeah, just have something different. So I'm thinking that, but man, it's so sad. Like people have said, where are the crafting videos this league? And I'm like, these builds just use unique items. What must I do?
Make your own. Compete in the Fizbo market and race.
It's over, dude. That race was over on like day 2.
Dude, all the
Wasn't
mirror.
it?
I feel like all the mirror items this league are done, and we're done very fast. There's a Hinakora lock thing.
Yeah. But then even people, I did release 2 crafting videos. I've never had videos perform worse in a long time because everyone's just like, I don't know, I'm just playing MF. I don't need to know how to make rare items.
Did you not make the MF video about farming the Janus helm and unveiling it and then clicking the fracture orb into it and praying? Because that is literally what you should make. Like you should end this podcast, go buy a Janus helm, go buy a lock and a fracturing orb and click it and put the video out.
Okay, that sounds like a good one. And then after that, it's over because the only thing we can craft on this build is a helmet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if we do TS, then I can try do like a semi-budget Fizbo.
No, it won't work.
No.
And
I don't think it'll work because of the wisp, but I don't know how you guys feel.
Oh, really? It's not enough damage.
I have a lot of friends that play Tornado Shot exclusively, especially the guy that gave me the gear. And I don't know how to coach people through Tornado Shot. Like, I can't answer or fix your Tornado Shot question. So I always defer to this guy. And he loves watching Magic Find, which is why he gave me the gear. And he tells people he would not do tier 16 Wisp content without the mirror bow.
Holy.
So
Okay.
I disagree. The answer is you wouldn't not make an elemental bow unless it was of near that mirror Fizzbow quality.
Yeah.
Elemental bows outstrip Fizzbows and have for a few leagues by a mile, way longer than they did before, unless you've got an Aura bot with you, in which case you'll just start Fizz. You actually just build Ellie bows now. They're way stronger until you get to right at the top end. Like your mirror Fizzbow is still going to be better than your mirror Ellie bow. It does overtake it, but you just play elemental bows up until then. Like it's just better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, Travic?
What?
What are you going to play next?
Aspirational goals.
I would like to mirror the Zebu helmet.
Zebu helmet. What's that one?
It's the brand triple elevated Penance brand thing. He makes it every league, but I've never done it before, and I don't know if Penance brand is gonna survive. So I wanna try that, or I wanna try the 1000% AoE blade blast of blasting that was going around for a while. That looks really cool too. Yeah, it's the Blizzard Crown one. Zebu's got a Blizzard Crown. It's like triple elevated, concentrated effect, all kinds of jazz. And it's like it takes him like 7 mirrors to make, but he does it every league. And it's something that, like, if I don't eventually do, Dez is gonna like leave SSF to, you know, put a light pustule on my bed until I make one.
I'm sorry, that was just really blight pustule in the bed.
Yeah, you know the old like Godfather saying, like, you're gonna do this, and if you don't do this, there will be a horse's head in your bed.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm like showing my age here, or, like, you know, the
No, and
It was in the movie,
I just didn't get the transition from the horse's head to the blight pustule, but
I was trying to keep it PoE friendly.
right, and PG-13.
Yeah.
Obviously, because the rest of the podcast has been.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to be, you know.
You've done better than me. That's for sure.
I think you guys more than make up for the foul language with insightful information and great conversation. I really enjoyed that. As for myself, I'm just, for lack of better ideas, I'm just gonna say what I said in the first couple episodes of the league. I want to do the Glacial Hammer build. I already got the gem, the transfigured one with the guaranteed crit every third strike instead of the more multiplier, and just want to build around the guaranteed crit. And I need to theory craft it out, but I think if you combine that with like the double damage scepter and you know, some other things like the huge crit amulet Maryland's and all, maybe I can make a really good single target build. And if not, then I'll just run through maps and like freeze rare monsters with my headhunter and steal their buffs, and then reroll into something else once I'm sick and tired of that. But yeah, Glacial Hammer. I remember like one of my first original builds back in, I want to say 2015 or something, was a Glacial Hammer Shadow that spanned all the way from, that was before Ascendancies, right? All the way from the Shadow area over to the Templar to get the elemental damage stuff. And I was like, Herald of Ice and Hatred, and it worked really well. I had Ellie Prolif on my Wayne Link, and I just walked up to packs and like froze one monster, and everything was frozen for multiple seconds, right? And then I could just slowly chisel away at the monsters with my ZDPS build that really didn't do a lot of damage, took very long to kill things, but nothing could harm me because everything was frozen all the time. Until I was farming Merciless City of Zarn, right? And I run into Minara. And this was back in the day when Minara, the Rogue Exile, Minara Amenima, something like that. Anyway, but she has these zombies, right? And back in the day, she had minion instability. And minion instability means once the minions go low life, they die, right? And low life back in the day was 35% or below. And Glacial Hammer has this built-in mechanic that if a monster after the hit would be at 33% or lower, then you get a cull, right? Like, I think now it's higher, but it's definitely a stronger cull, right, than culling strike. And so my degenerate brain, after like 10 hours of farming, was like, wait, so I freeze the zombies, but then if I cull the zombies, then they die before they have a chance to explode because they're never in low life, right? And so I was like, pam, pam, poof, resurrect in town, and I was dead. That's one of the most iconic moments in my PoE history. But luckily they changed that, because with desync and all this Rogue Exile was extremely hard to deal with back in the day, because you'd never know where her zombies are, and if you like were ranged build, the zombies could stand right next to you as you killed them, and you didn't know, and they just instantly take you with them because they had so much health that you couldn't survive a single explosion. It's just really crazy. Right. Is there something that you wanna? It didn't feel like 2 hours, guys. I was having a great time, but I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to take too much of your time. I'd rather have you back soon again so we can go for round 2. But if there's something you want to still shout out or bring up, then this is the time.
I'm good on my side. Supper time pretty soon. Ooh. How about everyone else?
I'm going to go nap.
Yeah,
really?
This guy needs...
Dude, I thought you were gonna go live and farm.
No, dude,
hard.
I made like 60 divines during this, or like something insane. I stopped playing like an hour ago. Yeah, dude, I
retired.
I went to bed at like 4 a.m.
No, I meant you retired because you made so much money that you don't have to play for the rest of the podcast.
Oh no, yeah, no, I paid off. I borrowed 35. I borrowed 35 divines right before going to bed to divine that simplex amulet, and the guy who I borrowed it from was Australian, and he was going to bed, and he was watching the podcast. So I was like, I have until the podcast is over to pay him back so he can go to bed. So I was like, if I bang this out in like less than an hour, which I did at the beginning of the podcast because I finally got to sit down and I didn't mean to be rude. I just banged it out really quick, and I was just like, here's your money. And he went to bed, and then he's been watching it from bed, and he's been like tweeting, or not tweeting, but Discord messaging me like, you're cringe lord, you're an idiot, you're cooked, mate, and it's just the funniest shit. So yeah.
Nice. Right. What about you, Balor? You've seen any things on the interwebs, any build makers, anything that you want to shout out or you want to draw attention to?
I'm trying something new this league, which is I don't consume PoE content. Because I feel like I was getting really discouraged from making things that I had thought up because somebody else had done it. And it was really like making me feel like I couldn't make any content. And so I decided I'm just not looking at content this league, and we're going to see how it goes. And so far I've made way more builds and way more videos because I just don't care what other people are doing. I just keep doing my things.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to do.
I agree with that. I said this in the little private chat. I really respect a lot of the things that you say, Balor, and I think a lot of your takes are like 10 out of 10 fantastic.
This particular take sucks.
No. I told this to Lolcohol. So when I started making content for PoE, Lolcohol was like, "This is the meta. This is how it's done. You need spread." I was like, "Dude, I don't watch any of that shit. I watch like Lolcohol's videos. I watch Dap's videos. I've seen some of Balor's. I've seen like your podcast. Like I take in very limited PoE content because like I like what Balor just said. I think it warps the perception of what you're doing. Like it's the whole like magic find thing. Like I can go watch a content creator do 1,000 maps and like, we'll like say like a Fubgun or a Snube or like any of the MF guys and then just get discouraged. Why am I going to go do my own map series when these guys just do it already and they do it? Like, I don't watch the shit because I do like Balor says, if I watch what other people are doing, you just get discouraged. You're better off just doing your own thing. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, no, I heavily feel that because I was just saying the other stream, right? I mean, obviously it's just said that for comedic relief, but I said the other stream that sometimes I have these like long streams, 16 hours, right? And I'm super hyped to play the game. Like, wow, dude, I just can't stop going, but I need to go sleep now. But right after I get up, I promise I'll stream again. And then somehow I don't directly go to bed, but I look at what other people are doing. I see a couple loot explosions here, something there. And then by the time I wake up the next morning, I'm like so discouraged. I feel like, oh, whatever, I'm so worthless. What I'm doing isn't interesting or something like that. And it's much easier to not have these thoughts when you're not consuming other content too much.
Yeah.
And in the same way, like, you know, in PoE, it's so much more fun to do builds when you don't look up how other people did them, but you're just trying to figure them out for yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I actually there's some people who I really respect and I really like their content. I've actually clicked the button so I don't get their videos recommended because of that exact thing. Where it's
Blasphemy.
like, oh, shit. This thing is like, but I mean, I will still
You're
like
subscribed to the
actively-
channel, but you don't get the notification, so you're
Yeah.
not clicking. You're
It's like,
actively
turn
hurting
it
the
off.
algorithm. Just make
Yeah.
a new YouTube.
Yeah, dude.
No,
You're part of the
don't worry,
problem. No.
It's none of you guys. It's none of you
Yeah.
guys.
No.
I will say
But-
I have seen some good builds like that Mauve Mischief one, and I didn't know you did one, Balor. So like I want to go see yours, but like sometimes I'll see a video and I'm just like, I'm gonna go copy this. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna give them credit that I took their idea, and here's like I did Poison Pathfinder this week, and there's a smaller YouTube creator, the guy's name is Kanar, and I like tagged him and everything, and like I ended up making good friends with him. Like he did something really cool. Like I'm just copying this guy. This guy, like, there's so much beauty too, and I think we miss a lot of it because of like things Balor said, but like there's so much good shit out there though. It really is.
And so people are so scared to do something similar when in reality, firstly, your audience might not be watching those people. Secondly, you might have like a different spin on it, or you might just present the information in a different way that it does make it unique, but without having to be like, oh crap, man, that guy made that video. Now I can't do it. Just do it, man.
It's also
Yeah,
like
it's really easy to overthink.
so easy
Yeah,
for
it
two
is.
people to come up with the exact same idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
It is.
the
so
community
easy.
shames people, right? Like how many times you come up with an idea and you do it, and then somebody's like, "Hello, I watched the latest Lolcohol video, and he's
don't-
already
don't even
crafted
look.
it."
Yeah.
I tell
Dude,
you,
we
I don't
need
even look.
less of that.
You're better
Yeah.
than me, man. You're better than me.
I hired a YouTube manager, and I just don't look anymore.
But it's sad, man. Like it should be nice to look at the comments instead of like, I'm just not going to look at it.
So
But this-
I don't not look at all. I do
Yeah.
open comments. Like I read all my comments, but as soon as comments start to turn negative, instead of continuing to read them like I used to do, I just close my phone.
Yeah.
I just go, people aren't happy with that one, and I just close it and go, oh well. I hope they cry
Send
more.
their ass to the void.
Thanks for
Yeah,
the.
I love that button, dude.
Oh, here's the best thing. I got this from Pirate Software. You guys might have seen him. He's a guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Streamer
like
that
a content
does
creator.
all the
Not,
shorts.
you're not
Seen
talking
it.
about actual pirated software.
No, no,
I
got
thought
this
he was
picture of
too. I
Pirate
thought he was
Software.
pirating
It's
software.
great, and I started doing it. This is my favorite thing. This is my absolute favorite thing. I got it. It's a direct ripoff from Pirate Software. When somebody comments something really negative, when they're really upset on your video, and they comment on it, free engagement, fantastic. You know what's
Bro,
better?
that's what bikes.
You know what-
does
wait.
too.
You know what's better? Delete their comment. And they will come back and comment a second time. Oh, this guy deletes the comments. Fuck you. I farmed you twice.
Oh, it's genius.
Dude, like,
let's not do that.
on one of the most recent episodes, like someone said, "Nice podcast, but can we get rid of this Catmaster guy?" And I just pinned it and
Oh,
gave it a heart.
yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, dude, just go with the meme." But here, this is something I wanted to say. If you're not wanting to look at PoE content, this is something that I want to do because I just recently noticed the benefit of having multiple PoE YouTube accounts. Is I want to sort of separate my subscriptions on YouTube into different categories, right? I want to, on my CatmasterOP account, I want to only follow content creators that I want to see for PoE. And then I want to have a second Catmaster account where I can follow the music content creators for music production. And then I want to have one for food creators and stuff like that. So whatever mode I'm in, what kind of content I want to consume, I can switch to the appropriate YouTube. And Travic just said, I'm out of here.
Bye, Travic.
He said no one left. You just said no one left.
Okay, so I don't know if it's just me, but my audio got really weird. Every time you spoke, it sounded like nails on it was my headset and the browser crashed.
It could be browser compatibility.
So every time you talk, I don't know what the heck's going on.
Is it me?
Is it for everyone?
Oh yeah, it's me. Okay, No, it's everyone. It's my computer. I think is like pooping itself.
It's probably your bit rate on your audio. Well, you can't hear. Yeah,
It's just how Catmasters sound.
it's like
But what I was going to say is the reason why I discovered this, and this is the perfect segue to the outro, is I made a new channel for specifically the FATED ARPG podcast, because I realized that there's maybe not that much overlap between people who want to watch the podcast and people who want to watch my content. So I thought about separating it. So if you've recently found that, all the ads make the podcast unwatchable, well, there's a completely unmonetized FATED, or not yet monetized, FATED ARPG podcast channel where you can watch the entire episodes because I upload them there. And they don't have ads currently, well, other than what YouTube shoehorns in. But I'm not getting any money, and I'm not telling YouTube to put ads on. And I'm not saying I never will, but this is for the foreseeable future until you guys help me to get the channel monetized by subscribing to it and liking and watching the videos. This will be the VOD deposit for FATED. We'll still, for the foreseeable future, do the podcast live on CatmasterOP. But just so if you specifically want to watch the podcasts once they're released, then this is where they're going to go. And once I can either afford to hire someone to do highlights or I can make the time to do highlights, then they're also going to be on that channel. So just wanted to quickly plug that. But I also want you guys to go to Lolcohol, to Travic, and to BalorMage, and to share, subscribe their content. Because it's pretty pog. Lolcohol makes some awesome songs. Travic is really good at explaining stuff to people who want to make money. We heard that today on the podcast. And now I lost track. What did I want to say?
What about
Baylor?
What BalorMage does?
What is Baylor good at? Baylor is
shout
really
out.
good at creating engaging content by rage baiting.
It's not even intentional, but it's true. It's not even something I mean to do.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely check that out. I also hear that there's a fun little dance clip going around on Balor's channel.
Oh my god, has that gone around?
I was thinking about downloading it and playing it on the podcast, but I was like, no, I would want to consult with you first because maybe that's not a side that you want to share here.
Whatever, I did it on the internet.
Yeah, happens.
Yep.
Anyway, guys, check out these awesome creators if you haven't yet. And thank you both, Lolcohol and Travic, for making time to be here. I will happily have you both back because this was way too short, and I think we could have gone for another 2 hours, but we want to keep these short and sweet and always leave on a high note when the audience would still want more, right? Rather than riding a dead horse until it... Wrong metaphor. Anyway, if you guys want to watch it in full, if you missed the beginning of the podcast, this is always on the FATED ARPG YouTube account. Then we're also as video on Spotify and as audio on various other podcast platforms. So you should be able to find the FATED ARPG podcast just by Googling it. And otherwise, there's links in the comments down below and in the description for these lovely creators as well as the podcast. And I think that's all. Anyone want to have the last word? Because I talked for so long.
No.
No.
And
That's a good one.
He replied. He should have just left a gap there so we could end right after the word no.
Yeah.
You missed it. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, you just cut it there.
Yeah.
Thanks for your support, guys. See you for the next one.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people want to
awesome.
send blankets or water. Just send your cash.
Okay. Thank you, man. That was awesome. That was really, really nice. Wait, what's happening?
I don't know what's happening. Am I muted?
Okay. I think we're muted.